Yeah, so is it the top 15 that make it, or
16. It's 16. So Broadfoot's your cutoff guy. And he's got 29 points on Lions. He's got 39 on Hunter and 47 on Bullock. But I got to check who's missed races real quick. So Broadfoot has all 12 starts. Hunter only has a... Sitting just east of St. Louis, Missouri, in Madison, Illinois, is one of the greatest raceway facilities in the Midwest. Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, formerly known as Gateway Motorsports Park, home to the Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Cup Series, the NTT IndyCar Series, as well as NHRA's Midwestern Nationals. Tonight, though, it hosts virtually the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series as we finish off our regular season with just 2 races remaining here this week and then next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where the regular season title still remains up for grabs between Justin White and Nathan Maurer. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tyler Dittmer. Joined with me in the booth, as always, is Will Tiller. And Will, the countdown to the playoffs is here officially, this time the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series.
Oh, yes, sir, Tyler. We were breaking it down before we came on to air here tonight. Which drivers are right on that bubble? Which drivers are secured in that playoff spot? And which drivers could be a surprise winner here tonight? Got to remember, Tyler, with a win here in these final 2 races, you could lock your spot into those playoff races. So a lot to watch out for in these last 2 regular season races of the season.
And that's exactly right, Will. It's the locking in of your playoff spot here at the end of the season. But meanwhile, on the other end of the playoff spectrum, the battle for the regular season title is extremely close between Justin White and Nathan Maurer. Currently only separated by 12 points. White has the advantage over Maurer after Maurer struggled last week. Justin White, though, right now struggling currently in practice. Do we think that Maurer could regain that top spot tonight?
Yeah, we kind of watched here the past couple of weeks. Nathan Maurer went on that hot streak, winning 3 races in a row. Past couple of weeks have been not first time winners, just surprise winners. Let's say that we had Adam Newbert win. Justin White was a winner, earlier in the season, winning at Phoenix. Maybe we're starting to see some other drivers just sort of just get comfortable. Maybe they're ready for those playoff races. We look at drivers like Nathan Maurer already on the top of the points table. They're with Justin White. Maybe those drivers are just ready for those big time races in those playoffs there, Tyler.
And you mentioned, Will, Justin White won at Phoenix earlier in the year, and Worldwide Technology Raceway Park kind of races like Phoenix. Very, very flat track, only 11 degrees of banking in 1 and 2, only 9 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4. They're both at a much different angle. 1 and 2 obviously a little bit narrower, a little bit tighter radius. 3 and 4 very wide. You can run really high up if you miss your entry here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, as these drivers are finishing up practice here. Just 2 minutes left in the practice session, Will. And then you talk about that bubble that we have. We have Brandon Broadfoot currently 16th in points. Meanwhile, you have Donnie Lyons, Ron Hunter, and Brandon Bullock all within relative reach tonight. But Brandon Bullock and Ron Hunter both have 1 less race, and in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, you get 2 drop races. So really, they're about going to be even, I believe, with Brandon Broadfoot when it comes down to it, being the 39 and 40-plus points back they are. How do these drivers approach tonight, knowing that maybe they have 1 in hand on the driver ahead of them?
Yeah, Tyler, I would gotta think that tonight you really want to lock yourself in. You talk about those drivers right on the bubble. We're gonna watch out for that here tonight. If you have a bad race here tonight, Tyler, and the driver just above you has a good race, that might be the end, even with 1 race left. So I think after tonight's race, Tyler, we'll have a much clearer picture heading into Las Vegas next weekend. But I gotta say, Tyler, looking at this track here tonight, not a track that I'm not very familiar with, Tyler. I'll have to admit here on the broadcast on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, but a very different racetrack, as you were saying, with that, different corner banking of a Phoenix, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and you look here at our track map for all of our viewers at home. You see that red dashed line leading towards the front straightaway. The left side will be turns 3 and 4. The right side turns 1 and 2. That red dashed line is actually your pit entry. The pit entry here at WWT Raceway is much different than most racetracks. Under caution, you would have to enter that pit lane on the back straightaway. And depending on how iRacing reacts, if you enter it on the front straightaway, you may get an unsafe pit entry. So most drivers opt to just be cautious and enter pit road, access road there on the back straightaway. Meanwhile, you stay low and away from the drivers in turns 1 and 2 on that blue dash line on your pit exit. So if we get 2 green flag stops, which is possible in Stage 3, not likely, but is possible, fuel window being 55 to 60 and Stage 3 being 70 laps, that's going to present a bit of a challenge, I think, to some of these drivers tonight, Will. Meanwhile, now practice has just finished here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. The drivers will begin their qualifying. You can see the road course used by the Sports Car Club of America and that little kartplex built in the early 2010s there after WWT Raceway was purchased by a new owner, and under which they went a several-year hiatus from NASCAR competition, returning in 2014 with the Craftsman Truck Series. And then the Cup Series finally joined WWT Raceway on its schedule starting last year in 2022. But as you see here, Ron Hunter, one of those drivers on the bubble wheel, he's coming up for his qualifying run. He had a great practice session for him, top 10 in time early on. So definitely I think a driver we have to keep an eye out for tonight.
Yeah, definitely watch out for that 30 machine here tonight. That Chevy's looking ultra fancy with those blue rims on that 30 machine here tonight. The first truck that's going to take the track. Hey, Tyler, you were touching on it there. Big run at the end of this race. 70 laps to close out this race at the Worldwide Center of Racing here. Tyler, as we watch the 30 machine coming around the last corner, we're going to see what kind of lap that Ron can throw down. And Tyler, you touched on a bubble driver here.
Yeah, he's currently sitting 39 points behind Brandon Bradford, who I would also like to point out had a very strong practice session, practicing inside the top 10. So maybe not something we see familiarly from Brandon Broadfoot and Ron Hunter, but this week it seems that they have put in a lot of effort knowing that their playoff hopes are on the line, and it's getting closer. Ron Hunter's first lap going at 34.47. Steve Barnett going at 34.41. So that'll be interesting to see how these two drivers qualify in relation to each other, as well as Brandon Bullock and Donnie Lyons, the two other drivers competing for that last bubble spot.
Right now, this is Kyle Hess in the 86 machine racing out of Memphis, Tennessee. 86 so far. Tyler has had a pretty good season, not standing out. As you see, the 86 is going to get loose off of corner number 2 right there. Pretty good season for the 86. Probably wants a couple more wins in that column, but here we watch Hess right now going to be third on that grid with the 34.48. We'll see what Kyle Hess can do here closing out the regular season. Now here, Tyler, watching Adam Newber in this 4. If Adam wins here tonight, is he in the playoff races?
He is, in the fact that I think his points will be secure enough. Obviously, Adam Newber has won already on the season. I believe he won last week at Kansas. The only issue, though, Will, is he didn't run the minimum number of races to automatically be guaranteed this playoff spot. So, Adam Newber, winner of Friday night's Triple M Pulling Truck Series race against me at Las Vegas, and a great battle there at the end. He is essentially locked in, but his points are not necessarily finalized. Right now, though, Steve Barnett still holding top position here, it looks like, in the qualifying battle. Justin White, our overall points leader, with a 34.54. Not a great run, but not his worst run so far. We're actually going to talk with Justin White here momentarily.
Yeah, still watching Adam Newber in that 4. And Tyler, I believe you're getting Justin White ready to speak with Justin White here, coming off a win last week.
Yeah, Justin White, it's Tyler Dittmer up here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Awesome. Well, you didn't have the practice session I think you were hoping for earlier tonight. Wasn't inside the top 10 on practice times. So far, you've qualified in the 8th position. What do you have to do to kind of figure out this track? And are you really comfortable at such a difficult track as WWT?
I'm pretty confident here. I'm not fond of this track, but I don't completely despise it, such as a road course. So, biggest thing is saving that right front tire. Just keeping it as cool as you possibly can, because it's going to be a task. You're going to wear it out, and you're going to wear it thin. Going to have the potential of overheating it, and once you overheat it, it takes way too long to cool it down. Even at nighttime here, because you're leaning on it so much for that forward grip going into one.
Yeah, and we look now, right now showing your buddy Nathan Maurer currently qualifying. He didn't have a great first lap. He's looking to have a better second lap here. Justin, that tight points battle here between you and Nathan, a 12-point gap currently for that regular season title and all the playoff points that come with it. Obviously, I know you guys are relatively good buddies. You're always in the same team chat together. What's it like competing with someone that you're friendly with for such an important regular season title?
To be 100% honest with you, this is why we're both here, because we push each other each and every week. He's trying to beat me, I'm trying to beat him, but then at the end of the day, we still have a beer together and chill out and hang out and go to a race together. That's what having a competitive friendship's all about. We We like to lean on each other for information, lean on each other on the track door to door. If we do make a mistake, we know the other didn't mean to, and we know that we're going to race each other with a lot of respect and be very clean about it.
Well, Justin, as you say that, you guys are both very friendly. As we get further and further into the season, as we get into the playoffs, will that share of information happen a little bit less, or will there be maybe a little bit more gamesmanship between the two of you, or is it still going to remain relatively kind of an open, clear communication between the both of you?
So far, ever since we've been friends, it's always been the open, clear communication, and I'm planning on it continuing that way. He has my respect, and I have his, and I don't see us I don't see one of us withholding information from the other.
That's good to hear. And Justin, as we're wrapping up qualifying, I'll let you get back to your team. But we really appreciate you coming in and talking with us here before the race. Wish you the best of luck tonight in your regular season title hopes as well. Looking to next week at Las Vegas, the end of the regular season.
Yes, sir. I love Las Vegas. Bumpy bottom. That's where you want to be to save them tires. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Well, that was your current overall points leader, Justin White. And kind of interesting listening to him talk about his relationship with Nathan Maurer. He speaks very fondly of Nathan, and I think that's a good thing that you have someone that you are both similar in speed with, but also you can share information for, because that helps these drivers both improve each other.
Yeah, Tyler, I think that's a very beneficial tool to have as you're grinding through the season. You want to get those wins out of the way. You want to get those good finishes. But Tyler, I guess my question to you is, are you going to be that close if everything comes down to those championship races? Remember, we have cutoff races. We're going to get down to that final four. So if it's between you and the guy behind you, are you going to have what it takes to pass your buddy to make sure you get into that final four?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the dichotomy of team racing here, especially we're one of the few series that offers team racing out there, Will. And I've experienced this myself in the Triple M Point Truck Series in the past, being teammates with drivers who are also in the playoffs. And you share information. You'll share a little bit about like the few things you can edit on these fixed setup races. But at the same time, you're still competing with the guy that you're teammates with. And I think you saw that a little bit Friday night, even though I'm not running for the points. I had my teammate Jose Luis Rivera behind me for most of that stage too, and he tried to get around me, but I was going to race him just as hard as I raced anyone else, because at the end of the day, there is still money on the line, and there's still a lot to win in some of these races, and you're still going to help the guy, but maybe not the detriment for yourself. So kind of balancing that out is very, very difficult, Will.
Yeah, Tyler, and I almost forgot, you're coming off a very nice week last week. Notching a pretty big victory there Friday night. If you want to tell the folks at home about that.
Oh, well, I didn't win. Actually, Adam Newber ended up pulling off the W, but I won both.
Right.
Yeah, I had the audio issues late there with about 40 to go. Lost all sound the rest of the race. Actually, teleported back 4 seconds. You can see it on the broadcast. My car cuts out, and you can see me go backwards 4 seconds. I went from first to, I think, eighth during green flag runs. And ended up still finishing third. Led 100, I think.
Very
140
strong.
laps. Yeah, no.
Very strong.
Good run, but Adam Newber, your pole sitter, I believe, so far tonight at this point in time, ended up winning that race at Vegas in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. And Adam's a good guy and someone I very much respect in the racing series here of NASRA, and a very strong competitor. Your winner 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, you spoke with last week's winner, Justin White from Kansas, and definitely an interesting guy to talk with, because you can learn so much from these other drivers who are super fast and super competitive. I know a bunch of drivers in this field that I've worked with in the past. That includes Kyle Hess, Stephen Thomas, Justin Lumpkin, just to name a few I've learned from. And I think we may not share information as willingly, but we kind of follow each other in a lot of these races and see driving styles. And we heard from Justin White how important that is, him and Nathan kind of communicating together. And you learn things, maybe the guy doesn't tell you directly, but you learn enough that it really does help you out as a driver.
You know, it really does. We've seen it all season long here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. It's a very team-oriented sport. We see a lot of teamwork throughout this season. Here tonight, it's going to be a little bit of that to make sure you're both locked into these playoff races. And right now, we're looking at this starting grid. We're looking at a couple of surprise names inside the top 10. You know, I would maybe look at the names that Ron Hunter is one of those drivers we talked about being on that bubble. Also look at Morales in that 5, now qualified second right now, Tyler. So I think we're going to have some fireworks early here tonight. other than what we usually see, where it's very calm, cool, and collected. I think the drivers here tonight are going to really come out of the gate.
Yeah, and we'll actually take this time to talk with your pole sitter, Mr. Adam Newber. Adam Newber, it's Tyler Dittmer up here in the SimRacerHub.com booth. You got a copy?
What's going on? Didn't I just tell you I'd be talking to you pretty soon?
Yeah, you did. We talked about it in pre-race. I was going to be talking to you or one of your teammates for certain, and I feel like you and I have had a lot of run-ins recently, whether on the track against one another, maybe not run-ins per se, but great battles for sure, or having conversations here in the booth, and I'm glad to see you up front. You know, you won 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis. You kind of have some momentum going. You've been really fast the last several weeks here, obviously trying to get more playoff points, trying to improve your seeding for the playoffs. Do you think you have what it takes to control this race tonight, knowing it's so hard to pass here?
I don't know if I want to control the race. Hopefully just, keep a good long-run truck underneath of me and be there at the end of these stages. And I don't know if we're really going to control it, but hopefully we can carry the momentum. We got to win. We finished second last week, and I think we're one of the best drivers in the series right now. I think we can maybe try to go on a little small run here, get some playoff points before this regular season ends.
You won last Friday night in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, much to my own detriment, I will admit. But you have been obviously one of the best drivers, I think, in the NASCAR Racing Network for a while now. I think you have the talent to get it done. What's it like, though, kind of having to shift here? I know we don't really see it much on ovals, but shifting is a part of racing here at Gateway.
It's going to be huge here tonight. I think it's going to really and I guess it's really going to play in the who can save their tires and shift and be fast at the same time. The rear tires are going to be slick. This track is slick off these corners right now. You're going to see a lot of guys getting loose. So you're going to see some guys who are going to try to be pushing that shifting early, and some guys maybe trying to stay off the shifter to save those tires late.
Well, Adam, I appreciate you spending some time with me here in the booth. I wish you the best of luck tonight, and hopefully I'll be talking with you after the race.
Yeah, man, I hope so too. We'll see you later.
Thank you. That is your pole sitter, Will, Adam Newber. And as we look now, as the grid gets ready to roll off, we'll take you through your starting order. Will, take it away.
Yes, sir. We're going to start on that pole position. We just spoke to him. That number 4, Adam Newber. Rolling off second here tonight is that 5 machine of Jason Morales. Third would be Steve Barnett in that 42 machine. Fourth here tonight would be Ron Hunter in that 30. Fifth, Stephen Thomas in that 23. Sixth, Kyle Hess in that 86. Seventh would be Kerry Tribute in that 7. Eighth, 18, Justin Lumpkin. Ninth, Sean Hamilton in that 89. And our top 10 will be rounded out by Justin White in that 2.
Moving on, as you look at row number 6, it's headlined by Christopher Blanchard and Nathan Maurer, who's trying to get back into the overall points lead. Sitting there in row number 7, Robbie Richards trying to fight his way into a better seating position with Cody Knott, who's trying to hold on, being currently 15th in points. Row number 8 has Jason Stevenson and Brandon Broadfoot, your current cut line driver. Row number 9 is Tim Hammond and Dan Hagan at his outside in that 39. Row number 10 has Raul Meza and Tyler Daniels, and then rounding out the field in row 11 will be Brandon Bullock and Donnie Lyons. Neither of them opted to post a qualifying time. Curtis Rogers will be the last driver in the field in 23rd. TJ Moore will be your race control this evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Adam Newbert looks to get the field going here in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150. Stage number 1 will be 30 laps, Will. They have 5 sets of tires, plenty of fuel to make it through the first 2 stages. We'll see how it goes.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll once again as Adam Newber in that 4 machine. It's going to roll us across the start-finish line. Green flag racing down the corner number 1.
Yeah, Adam Newbert gets a great jump. So does Steve Barnett. He's going to get clear of Jason Morales here through 1-2, but Morales is going to power back on the outside, try and get a run off. These drivers are trying to figure out their way through the field. Barnett clears him off of 2.
Right now, still Newbert, our race leader, down the backstretch. We watch right now, everything settling in. These drivers are not used to this racetrack right now. Down into 3 and 4. Adam Newbert still looking so fresh, so clean in that swim machine at the top of the grid off of 4.
Yeah, that's Sick With It Motorsports number 4 gets well clear. Meanwhile, first battle for positions back for 6. That's Justin. Nope, that's not Justin Lumpkin. It's hard to tell who the number is. That's the 23 to the inside of the number 30. And so that's a tight battle there for position, but it looks like that 23 machine did get by, and that's going to be Stephen Thomas getting by Ron Hunter.
Watch this battle right now down the backstretch. Looks like Justin Lumpkin in the 18 is going to be left in the inside lane. Kyle Hess on the top side. Kyle Hess trying to hold position. That's Thomas in that 23 machine. Morales in that 5 still trying to hang on inside the top 5 as we come around the corner. Right now, down the backstretch, or down the front stretch, so Adam Newbert, our race leader.
Yeah, meanwhile, Adam Newber has kind of pulled away, almost already a second lead. Meanwhile, Stephen Thomas looking to the inside of Kyle Hess here in 1 and 2, trying to make a move happen. Relatively single file, looks like for a battle position back there. That may be Robbie Richards to the inside of Carriage of You. He'll make that pass work off of 2. Thomas should get the pass done here on Kyle Hess down the back straightaway.
A lot of moving parts so far here tonight. Barnett right there in that 42 machine. We look at this drone view of the racetrack. Hess in that 86 trying to get around the 23 of Thomas as around the corner right now. Very frantic pace so far here tonight, Tyler, as we're down into corner number 1.
I think you're going to see that early on with these tires still being fresh. Lumpkin to the inside of Morales. He's going to push up a little bit, almost contact between the two. Morales has to swing wide. It's going to allow Stephen Thomas to look to the inside. Lumpkin slides up into, I believe, position number 3. That's going to drop Morales back to 4th. Thomas going to sit there in 5th. Hess and Hunter in tow behind.
Very fast lap time so far here tonight. Just a few laps into this race. We watched Kerry Tribute go to the inside of the 89 of Hamilton. They're side by side on the exit of the corner down the backstretch. Kerry Tribute's trying to get a win here tonight as they're still side by side down in the corner, just 4 laps in.
Hamilton's going to drive in deep, but Tribute drives in deeper. Meanwhile, Robbie Richards almost misses the corner entirely. That's going to open it up for, I believe, Justin White and Jason Stevenson behind. Justin White, though, has company at his outside. That's Nathan Maurer. Stevenson doesn't throw the block. Meanwhile, Maurer running very close to that outside wall.
Things are very shaky right now. These are battles to stay inside the top 10. Kerry Tribute is 8th in that battle. Sean Hamilton's 9th. Robbie Richards 10th. Nathan Maurer currently 11th in that battle we see on the screen. Single file right now down to corner number 1. We watch this battle. Jason Morales still trying to hold off the 23 of Thomas on the exit of the corner.
Meanwhile, Nathan Maurer jumps into 11th position. His title competitor, Justin White, behind him is now 12th, gets by Jason Stevenson. Brandon Broadfoot currently sitting in, I believe, the 15th position, and that's got to be concerning for him because Ron Hunter is currently inside the top 10, I believe, sitting 7th.
We're watching that 24 machine of Brandon Bradfoot right there very early on in this race. Stage number 1 will conclude on lap 30. We're already starting to see a little slide on the exit of corner number 2 there. Tyler down into the corner, Brandon Bradfoot to the inside. Brandon has to have a good run here tonight. We spoke about that early, how he's one of those bubble drivers that we're talking about here tonight, the 24 machine. Gonna say he always brings out the paint schemes, but he's gonna bring out a W here tonight.
Yeah, and that sliding is only going to get worse throughout the run, Will, especially as these drivers have to start shifting more and more. More likely that they'll over-rev before shifting up back to 4th gear, especially in 1 and 2. It is very slippery if you get on the throttle too aggressively down in 3rd gear. Brandon Broadfoot closing the gap on Jason Stevenson, though. He's going to look to his inside, trying to move up a position. Can't get the pass done. Meanwhile, Tim Hammond has gotten clear of those two. Looks to be relatively single file throughout the field right now. Currently no battles for position. And still up front, Adam Newbert has just under a 1-second lead over Steve Barnett.
Yeah, right now Newbert is just exactly where he's most comfortable there, Tyler, at the top of the grid. You know, we've spoken to Adam Newbert here across some of these Nazareth 360 Racing Network broadcasts. You know, for this last month of February, Adam Newbert has been one of the hottest drivers across all classes of cars in these leagues, now leading the way here tonight.
Yeah, and that's not really a surprise, I think, to anyone who's been following Nazareth here for a while. Adam Newbert knows how to get the job done and knows when to turn it on, especially as we get closer and closer to these playoffs. Something of note, though, Will, Gateway Raceway Park, now Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, in my opinion, may be one of the best tests for talent of drivers and coming up, at least in the real world, and maybe even indicative of talent here tonight, knowing how these drivers can handle a little bit more of a difficult handling racetrack. Just some names to throw out. You have past winners in the Truck Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park: Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, Justin Haley, Ross Chastain, all Cup Series winners, and all have had relatively successful careers in the Truck Series as well.
You know, we watch right now, you're talking about those battles they've had. There's a battle down the backstretch right now. We see Justin Lumpkin to the outside of the 5, and Morales, they're battling down the front stretch right now. Tyler, we'll see. Looks like Justin Lumpkin will clear that position down into the corner. Justin Lumpkin, a man on a mission here tonight, as now Morales is trying to hold on. I was surprised by the qualifying run of the 5 machine there, Tyler, to qualify on that front row, but now the 5 machine is learning how tough it is to run in the top 5.
I think also here qualifying is so indicative if you get cloud cover at the right time, and just it's very easy to make a mistake here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. As you see, Morales actually fighting back really well against Lumpkin, although they're going to be drag racing down the front straightaway. Lumpkin gets a bit of a run on the outside, and I think that's something to keep an eye on tonight, Will. Does that outside lane pick up speed? Maybe not necessarily the outside, but like that middle lane versus the bottom, which Morales seems to be running. Lumpkin had a very good 1 and 2. He should have a decent run here on exit, but Morales just finds something there on the bottom off of 1 and 2 that I haven't seen other drivers necessarily have.
Yeah, Morales still able to hang on, even though we saw a little tandem going on there down the backstretch around 3 and 4 right now. Morales, just as I spoke about him, still holding on to position here as they're going to cross this line, make a lap 14 down in corner number 1. Morales currently inside that top 10, as I was speaking, top 3 right now inside the podium. But all eyes still on Adam Newbert right now, almost has a second lead on Steve Barnett in F42.
Yeah, and Adam Newbert here is just doing everything right. He's kind of pacing himself. He's not overdriving the truck at this point in time. He's just kind of slow and methodical and just driving the track the way that he feels is necessary in order to be in the position he's in. Already over 12 laps into this race, almost to the halfway point here of stage number 1. A relatively comfortable gap to Steve Barnett, who is also pulled away from the 3rd place position of Jason Morales. So really it's those front 2 trucks out there by themselves.
Yeah, they really are. You just spoke about that gap. Steve Barnett in 2nd. We look at Jason Morales. Talked about the good run he's having here tonight. That 5 machine qualified 2nd, currently in 3rd. That's still pretty good inside that podium. Right now, 3 seconds off, but 2.5 seconds off the pace of our leader, Adam Newbert, in that 4. And we've watched what can happen, though, Tyler, when Adam can get these type of leads. We're on lap 15 here. The next 15 laps will fly by. He'll snatch that stage victory away.
Yeah, and we kind of saw this in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series on Friday night. The leader was just able to control both of the early stages. It's only when you had kind of green flag stops where really there any major shakeup in the pack. And you see right now, Jason Morales is leading a train of, it looks to be 6 trucks, Ron Hunter being the last one in this group. And no one can really pass. It's a very difficult track to pass, especially at this point in the run. You're kind of in the middle of the run. Tires maybe haven't worn enough, but there's Justin Lumpkin getting soon as I say, it's hard to pass. Stephen Thomas is going to look to the inside of Lumpkin here in 1 and 2.
Stephen Thomas to the inside of Lumpkin right now. Lumpkin trying to fight that middle lane right now. Not going to hold tight as you see the 23 machine of Thomas will clear Lumpkin off of 2. A big run from that 23 machine. Now has a sight set on that 5 Morales. Down in the corner number 3.
I think that's just the 2 Sick With It Motorsports teammates working together here saying, all right, I wasn't able to get by Morales. Let's see if you have anything for him. I think Justin Lumpkin's just letting his buddy Stephen Thomas go there. Maybe Lumpkin hurt his tires a little bit battling with Morales for those laps that he did. Meanwhile, Nathan Maurer has slowly been catching up to this group here, lap after lap, slowly about to close in onto the back of Ron Hunter. And then behind Maurer, it's kind of a bit of a gap to Robbie Richards, almost a second and a half right now, and then Justin White currently in 11th.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of these drivers essentially get lost in that labyrinth, Tyler. You're starting to see drivers like the likes of Brandon Bradfoot in that 24 machine in 13th position, but 9 seconds off the pace. Tim Hammer in that 69 machine. Pretty good run the last couple of races. Right now, another 9 seconds off the pace of our leader. The 37 machine of Raul Meza, 10 seconds off the pace of our leader in 16th. So not bad runs as far as where your positional on the track goes, but right now way off the pace of our leader.
And you mentioned Raul Meza. Raul Meza really hasn't had the runs he's wanted in the last several weeks here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. He's been strong at times, but hasn't had the finishes he's looking for. And you're kind of seeing maybe just a culmination of just unfortunate events happening for Raul Meza. Now as we see that pack of 6 trucks that was about 3rd through about 7th kind of get split up, Raul Meza making a pass at Stevenson there to the inside in 3 and 4. You're just kind of seeing this field getting more and more spread out here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park.
Yeah, and I think for the 37 Raul Meza, I've done a few races here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, whether it's here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series or the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, or whatever series that Raul Meza races in. I think sometimes, Tyler, the frustration can sometimes seep into your driving ability. We know that Raul Meza in that 37 is very talented behind the wheel, but sometimes I think it could just be, yourself blocking you in some of these decision making. Sometimes these pit stops just backfire on them. Bad luck, as you mentioned. Sometimes as a driver, you just need to let all of that go, just focus on your ability, and maybe that 37 can break through.
In the two different points battles we've been looking at, the regular season title and that bubble spot, Ron Hunter just gave up the 8th position to Nathan Maurer. So now give Nathan Maurer tentatively 3 stage points, 0 for Justin White. And Ron Hunter only getting 2 stage points. At one point, he was in 5th place, but was going to get 6. Now he's just holding on for a couple here to try and close that gap to Brandon Broadfoot. But being 39 points back, he was definitely looking for a better finish here in stage 1.
Yeah, wouldn't you know, the 971 of Nathan Maurer, our biggest mover of the race so far, up 4 positions from the drop of the green flag. The 971 up to 8th, but like you mentioned there, Tyler, watching out for some of those points battles on the racetrack. Now here on lap 21, Adam Newbert's lead just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Jason Morales, though, in that 5, seems to be catching the 42 machine in a second.
Yeah, Steve Barnett has definitely lost some pace here at the midway to latter third of this first stage, as we have, I believe, now just 9 laps to go in the stage. We're heading lap 22 of 130. And really, stage 1 has flown by at this point, Will. These drivers have been relatively clean. You talked to some of these drivers before the race, they thought it was going to be a wreck fest, super slick track, going to be a lot of cautions. Right now, these drivers have shown that they can get the job done so far.
Yeah, and I think with the 5-seater tires, 100% fuel capacity, of course, a rule that I personally love, Tyler, the no fast repairs. You can kind of lean back a little bit. You don't have to press the issue too much. We have seen a little bit of a frantic pace to start off the race, a lot of passing going on. But we've seen all season long here, Tyler, in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. These drivers know how to be aggressive, know how to lay off, and that just opens the door for ultra-competitive racing every week.
As you see Stephen Thomas trying to get by Jason Morales for 3rd here before the end of stage number 1. Meanwhile, back in the field, Kerry Tribune trying to make a move to the inside of Kyle Hess. He is there at the meanwhile. Can he get the run off of 3 and 4? Yet to be seen. He is just barely clear off the corner. Move Kerry Tribune up 1 spot.
Yeah, what a pack of dogs that we have right there. Nathan Maurer at the tail end of that pack. You got Hess in the 86, Kerry Tribune in that 7, as well as the 18 of Justin Lumpkin right there as well. Every driver could be a winner here tonight as they're battling for positions inside the top 10. Kerry Tribune is going to go to the inside of Justin Lumpkin, down into 3. We have a battle side by side in the corner there, Tyler.
We have battles everywhere on track now. We had a little bit of a lull, not anymore. Kerry Tribune gets the job done, I believe, on Justin Lumpkin. Meanwhile, Stephen Thomas to the outside of Jason Morales looking. Nope. Morales closes the door. Thomas going to try the crossover. Not this time in a 1 and 2, but Morales has definitely closed almost contact between the two there in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, 23 is right there in the picture as well. Stephen Thomas trying to live up to that number on the side of that truck. Going for greatness here tonight down to corner number 3. Stephen Thomas now has his sights set on the 42 of Steve Barnett. Steve Barnett is under attack here around 3 and 4.
Yeah, Steve Barnett's under attack. Thomas gets by Morales, dropped Morales down to 4th now. Thomas looking for Barnett, though, in 2nd. He's got the run off of 3 and 4. He looks to the inside. Barnett's going to have to give him the position here, maybe. Thomas dives in hard. Morales trying to follow Thomas to the inside. Barnett, though, gets a great middle of the corner. He should have the run off here down the back straightaway.
Barnett trying to hold on, position off of 2 right now, down the back stretch, trying to use that side draft coming off of the truck of Stephen Thomas in that 23. Stephen Thomas looks like he has that thing just slipping and sliding around Gateway here tonight. Doesn't look like anybody's going to catch the 4 of Adam Newbert as we come off of corner number 4. Make it lap 27 across that line.
Meanwhile, Justin Lumpkin continues to slide. He's been passed by Nathan Maurer now. Meanwhile, though, Jason Morales still looking to get a move on Barnett. Barnett drives in really hard in 1 and 2, trying to get to the back of Stephen Thomas. Can't get it to stick. Kerry Tribune, meanwhile, is reeling this group in. Kyle Hess trying to follow suit. But is there enough time? Only 4 laps to go in stage number 1.
With 4 laps to go right now, fanned out, single file line down the backstretch. into corner number 3. Again, Nathan Maurer, our biggest mover of the race so far, up 5 spots. Now we see Steve Barnett to the inside of Jason Morales. Jason Morales going to slide down to 4th in that 5 machine. Barnett's going to try to hold position, try to finish exactly where he qualified here in stage number 1. Down to the corner here on lap 28, still Adam Newbert leading the way.
Morales trying a different technique, couldn't get the job done on the inside. He's going to try and make the job done on the outside. Oh, Barnett gets loose off the corner. He's going to slide down towards the grass. Can he save it? Yes, he does, but that's going to cost him many spots. Tribute gets by. Kyle Hessel should make a move to the outside. Nathan Maurer move to the outside. You're starting to see the trucks lose more and more grip as this run wears on. These drivers are praying for the stage break at this point, Will.
That driver's starting to slide just a little bit here as we have just about 2 laps to go here. Stage number 1, Adam Newbert's going to be one driver that doesn't want to see this stage end right now, Tyler, with a 2-second lead. Look at Stephen Thomas, that 23 machine's going to finish 4 spots up from the drop of the green flag as they're down the backstretch here to close out stage number 1.
Yeah, they have 1.5 laps still to go here in that first stage. Meanwhile, though, no battle really close enough. Maybe Nathan Maurer to Kyle Hess will be the battle to watch here in the final lap. Ron Hunter has a bit of a gap. The battle outside the top 10 there between White and Hamilton, but that's not going to play into any stage points, which both of these drivers probably want at this point. 1 lap to go in the stage. Adam Newbert, a dominating performance. Stephen Thomas, though, has definitely been the faster truck the last few laps. Last lap alone, he was 0.2 faster, so maybe look out for Stephen Thomas later in this race. Kyle Hess gets loose off of 2. That's going to allow the door open for Nathan Maurer on the outside. That's going to lose a spot for Hess. Maurer's going to gain another spot here in his battle for the regular season title over Justin White.
Nathan Maurer down to 3 and 4 right now, looks to have secured a top 5 finish in stage number 1 as we're going to cross the line here. Yellow flag will fly across this front stretch here as stage 1 will come to an end here with Adam Newbert in that 4 machine getting the stage 1 victory.
Yeah, as now you see Robbie Richards cross that line in 10th position. He will be the cause of the caution, costing that line. That's the 10th position. One regular season point for him. We'll quickly go through your stage 1 results. Adam Newbert, your winner in stage number 1. Dominating performance, although Stephen Thomas was catching. Went from 2 seconds to 1.4 and just under 3 laps. So Thomas looking fast here to finish 2nd. Morales will get 3rd in the stage. Kerry Tribute gains 4 positions. He'll finish 4th in stage number 1. Nathan Maurer up 7 spots from 12th to 5th. Kyle Hess will lose 1 spot. He'll finish 6th in stage number 1. Steve Barnett loses 4. Justin Lumpkin will lose 1. Ron Hunter will lose 5 spots and finish 9th in the stage. And Robbie Richards will gain 3 to finish 10th in stage number 1. We will take a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back to talk with your stage number 1 winner, Adam Newbert. Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway. After a round of pit stops, Adam Newbert still your leader And your winner, stage number 1, Will Tiller, standing by to talk with your stage number 1 winner, Adam Newbert.
A man who is having one heck of a February here in Nazareth, Adam Newbert, stage number 1 winner, Adam. You essentially did that with no kinds of pressure. What makes Worldwide Technology Speedway so comfortable for you so far?
I don't know. I felt like we were just able to get away and not have to race anybody right there. Barnett was the one that, was closest to us, but he ended up not being able to keep up the pace in the long run. So we got some fast guys right here. I got my teammate right here, right beside me, Stephen Thomas. I got my other teammate. I think he's back in 8th right now, Justin Lumpkin. And I tell you what, these are some hungry, pissed off, stick with it motorsports drivers. Stephen and Justin, those guys are pissed off and ready to race and go for wins.
Okay, and a track like this has been very tight so far. Adam, you won about 2 weeks ago here in this series. What do you think gets the job done here tonight?
Well, if we can keep our teammates up here and we can just, kind of just dominate this race with them, I think we can do it. I don't know. There's some other guys like Jason Morales. I think Nate Mauer's making his way up to the field. We haven't seen Justin White yet. Some of these other guys that are going to come up here and challenge us. So I think there's more challengers to come. It's far from over. And
Stick With It Motorsports has that dog mentality. Speaking with Adam Newbert, stage number 1 winner. Adam, before we let you get back to it, anybody wanted to shout out here? I'm sure we'll talk to you again here soon. Yeah, I'd like to thank our team owner, Jeff Sickles. I'm sure he's watching. Hopefully he's cheering us all on. We got 3 trucks up here in the top 10. Got to thank our sponsors, Ladanco, Millie's Restaurant and Catering, and Darren's Nail Gun Repair. Darren's Nail Gun Repair is actually the title sponsor for this race, so huge shout out to our team sponsor right there. Yes, sir. Adam Newbert in that Ford machine. Have a good luck the rest of the way, my man. And like I said, I'm sure we'll talk to you again here soon. Yes, sir. We'll see y'all. All right. And that was Adam Newbert in that Ford machine, Tyler. Man, who's talking about that dog mentality that they have here tonight. Watch out here the rest of the way.
Yeah, and this Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150, stage number 2, about to get underway. Because of the caution pace laps, we'll have a 25-lap stage number 2 here. So maybe see tire wear be less of a factor here. Starting to see a lot of sliding those last 5 laps. Well, should be interesting as Barney the flagman has the green flag, just waiting for the iRacing pace truck to leave the field. So look back at the restart, though. Here, front row will be Adam Newbert, Stephen Thomas. Row 2, Jason Morales, Nathan Mauer. Row 3, Kyle Hess, Carriage B. Row 4, Steve Barnett. And I believe Justin Lumpkins. These drivers get ready to go again. Adam Newbert leading the field of green. Gets a great jump there. Outside lane stacks up a little bit. Meanwhile, it looks like Stephen Thomas should be clear of Jason Morales entering 1 and 2.
As we're coming to 1 and 2 right now, Adam Newbert still leading the way. A lot of moving pieces, though. Right now, RC Hess to the inside of Carriage View. Down the backstretch as we creep down into corner number 3. Pace is already starting to pick up right now inside that top 10. As you see the 971 on 8th and Mauer right now inside the 4th position. As we come off of corner number 4, Adam Newbert still lead us under green.
Yeah, Nathan Mauer up 8 positions from the start of this race, sitting in 4th position. Meanwhile, Kyle Hess, Justin Lumpkin, Steve Barnett, and Justin White's the Hornets' nest back there from positions, it looks like 6th through 9th. Oh, they're going to stack up a little bit. Light contact made between Barnett and Hess. Hess is going to be really slow there on the bottom. He's going to pull off to the side, try and regroup here. That's going to allow all those drivers to slide up 1 position, including your current bubble driver, Brandon Broadfoot, who's now up into the 8th position.
Yeah, you saw Hess in that 86 machine there, Tyler, from the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Essentially, when you hit that parking thing inside of a parking spot and you back your car up there and you look at the bumper just to make sure you didn't scrape it too bad, that's exactly what that 86 did right there. You saw him slow way down the racetrack just to have to check everything to make sure everything was still working correctly. That 86 is right now back in the mix, coming off of 2 with a big move. Going to be way down in position there with Tyler. So a long way to go here on lap 38.
And Kyle Hess definitely one to be a little bit upset after that contact. He's going to have to regroup. Meanwhile, look at drivers who've gotten way back in the field. That's Robbie Richards near the back of the pack now after a horrible pit stop for him. I believe he had a pit road speeding penalty. Meanwhile, though, back up towards the front of the field, we are all single file, I believe, through the top 10, which now includes Ron Hunter in 10th and Brandon Broadfoot, the driver he's racing with for that final playoff spot, in 9th. So battle to keep your eye on there. Meanwhile, Justin White, your regular season leader in points, has slid up into the 8th position. finally making his way towards the front. He was struggling early, Will. It seems like he may have started to find his footing in this truck.
Yeah, some of these drivers are starting to get a little bit more comfortable now on the racetrack. As you're starting, as you have a driver on the wall, that is 80 Hamilton, awful forward, big pile up. Brendan Bradfoot's going to be involved right there. Cody Knott's involved. Big wreck down the front stretch here. Caution flag on the racetrack.
Yeah, Cody Knott goes upside down. Now he's going to bounce around a little bit for no reason, but that's going to take out some big-name drivers. I believe Sean Hamilton is out of this race. And it all started, it looks like, with Sean Hamilton. We see him sideways here off of 4. We'll have to see exactly what happened there, but a huge wreck down the front straightaway here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. We're going to have a little bit of a shootout here to end stage 2. We'll have to see exactly what happened here. Hamilton's loose by himself already off. Oh, no, it looks like he just hits the wall. Just comes up and hits the wall, Will.
Yeah, you saw Hamilton leading off of corner number 4 there. Leading the pack, out the race. Was going to come off the corner, brushes the corner, bounces off like a pinball there, Tyler. And then you just see the domino start to fall. I talked with Adam Newer how tight this racetrack is. It doesn't look tight. It is tight here, this racetrack. Once one domino starts to fall, they all fall. And I think we just had at least 5 or 6 trucks that might be out of this race now.
Yeah, it's Cody Knott who went upside down on his roof sliding. And we don't talk enough about how tight these corners are on exit. It's the tightest part of the exit. Looks like Sean Hamilton just got really tight, maybe overdrove it. Not really sure. His truck almost went straight there. Kyle Hess barely gets by. Cody Knott just nowhere to go. You can't adjust that late. And everyone else is along for the ride. I can't tell who that was that made contact to Cody Knott, but that is the 65 of, I believe, Curtis Rogers. Jason Stevenson, hard hit. Tim Hammond, a hard hit there in the back. A lot of good trucks. Wow, I want to see the onboard of Chris Blanchard making moves to get through there. If we can get that one, producer Adam Flieger, we can go back and see Chris Blanchard's driver's eye view. Watch him through this wreck. It was, I think, something to behold.
Yeah, watch this 14 machine here is going to... Oh, my goodness, here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Here we go, Tyler.
Yep, he goes through Cody Knott, but he avoids Curtis Rogers coming down, so maybe a little bit of netcode saving Chris Blanchard. We'll have to see exactly how that went. But as he's cautioned, all these drivers trying to regroup. We're going to first see who's currently on pit road. It looks to be Cody Knott, Sean Hamilton, Curtis Rogers, Donnie Lyons, Brandon Bullock, Tim Hammond, Jason Stevenson, all going to lose a lap here. And we're going to actually take this time to talk with the driver who was upside down, Mr. Cody Knott. Cody, we saw you upside down there and looked purely as if there was nothing else you could do. It looks like Hamilton came up and hit the wall and there was just nowhere for you to go. Is that exactly how you saw it unfold?
Yeah, I was just coming off of 4, and then it just kind of looked like he snapped and just went straight towards the wall and then ricocheted off. I did my best to get out of the throttle and go low, but then his momentum coming off that wall was just too hard, and then it just hit me square right in the center of the hood. Now I'm sitting on 37 minutes of required.
Cody, we talked about coming into this race. You were 10 points clear. Brandon Broadfoot in the 15th position in points. Obviously, this is going to hurt your chances here to make the push towards the playoff. But you do have drop races to rely on. I believe you still have 2 available to use. Is this race going to be a drop race, or is this one going to be kind of you're going to take all the repairs and try to get as many points as you can, considering how many trucks were involved in that wreck and how small the field is tonight?
Well, considering we still have 90 laps, it's a long race. I'm probably going to get out here and get as much points as I can. I think my worst finish so far this season is like 34th. This is going to be the first week for the drop race, so I think I'm going to use my drop race on that 34th place and then just see what I can get from here. My other worst finish is a 22nd, so I'm sitting 21st right now with this damage that I'm getting repaired, so can't do much worse than just moving forward from here.
Well, we wish you the best of luck next week at Las Vegas. I know you're not necessarily pleased with not your fault tonight performance-wise, but just kind of the luck you've had this evening. So hopefully luck will turn next week as you make your push towards the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Cody Knott. And you can kind of hear, Will, a very dejected Cody Knott in that interview. Just kind of nothing he could do, but definitely a frustrating result for him.
No, definitely. And Cody, one of the admins here at Nazareth, actually said to me before the broadcast here tonight, if something happens to me, go ahead and bring me up. If you need anything, just let me know. And didn't expect to speak with Mr. Knott this early on in the night there, Tyler, so definitely you can hear the dejection in his voice of how his night went sideways in that machine. As we take a look at the playoff picture here, Tyler, what are some of the things now? We saw the 26 machines out of this race. What are some of the things now you're starting to watch out for here in stage number 2?
Yeah, and it's got to be that Ron Hunter cut line situation. I believe Brandon Bullock is also out of this race at the time being. He had significant damage from that wreck. So really, it's going to be how Ron Hunter and Brandon Broadfoot can score points in relation to Cody Knott tonight. Obviously, Tyler Thurman out racing, and I believe he is done for the season. Donnie Lyons, I also believe, was involved in that wreck, so we'll have to see. As we're about to go green flag racing again, Adam Newbert leading Stephen Thomas and the field to the green flag. Again, hopefully we can avoid some chaos and finish off stage number 2 under green. Adam Newbert leads the field. Barney, the flagman, gets us going again.
Adam Newbert down to corner number 1 right now has been the man of the hour as we swing around corner number 1 and 2 down the backstretch.
Yeah, meanwhile, this kind of situation has helped Justin White. He got a little bit of a reset there. Didn't have a good corner thanks to the little incident with Kyle Hess. Not necessarily between him and Kyle Hess, but Kyle Hess and Steve Barnett slowed up Justin White. Meanwhile, though, Nathan Maurer looking to try to take position number 3 away from Morales here on the outside of 3 and 4. Can't get the job done necessarily this lap. He's got a push from Justin Lumpkin down the front straightaway.
Nathan Maurer trying to use that top side lane as we're going to cross the line down to corner number 1. Nathan Maurer trying to creep up to the top of the grid. Hasn't tasted victory lane now in about a month's time there, Tyler. A driver who is very hot in the middle part of the season, starting to cool down just a little bit as we're creeping up into the playoffs. No better way to get that fire back. Started with a win here tonight. Nathan Maurer now up to 3rd.
Yeah, and that's kind of the concern you have, Will, in some of these series when you're riding a hot streak that was as good as Nathan Maurer. You have to be worried. Did he peak too early in the season? Obviously, now he's gotten back up to 3rd, but last week, a very poor performance. I believe he got caught up in like a pit road incident. Maybe he had a pit road speeding penalty. Didn't have the finish he needed. Lost that points lead to Justin White, who had a very strong performance last week, winning the race at Kansas. So necessarily hasn't been on the right train, but tonight looks like he's getting back on track, Will.
Yeah, right now as we watch Kerry Tribute pass for position 8th and Maurer in the 971. Currently up to 3rd. Morales in that 5 machine, 4th right there. So you see Brandon Broadfoot, though, on that 24 machine. If Brandon can have a good run here tonight, he could lock in that playoff spot as well. As now we're seeing Robbie Richards to the inside of the 37, Raul Meza. Raul Meza is going to come out of that big wreck there. Basically a lucky dog, I'd have to say. Raul Meza is just a few positions away outside of the top 10 as we come off of 2.
It looks like Robbie Richards may have a little bit of right side damage, but relatively clean truck. That 48 shuffled back after the stage 1 pit stop, lost ground. I believe it was a speeding penalty, not entirely sure though. But he's lost a little bit of ground here. He's trying to make it up after finishing 10th in stage number 1, trying to get more points.
As we cross the line right now down into corner number 1, lap 49, as we're starting to see the drivers settle in. And Tyler, no tire wear so far here in the stage. We saw it to end out stage number 1. Right now the drivers are single file as we start to see Kerry Tribute again is going to go to the inside there, down the corner.
Yeah, Carrot should be trying to make a pass there on Justin Lumpkin. Meanwhile, Justin White's trying to hold off Steve Barnett. This has allowed Brandon Broadfoot to catch up to the back of Ron Hunter. Carrot gets the pass done off of 4, though. Make that a position for the number 7 truck and a drop position for the number 18 of Lumpkin. Meanwhile, though, relatively single file here in this main group. Jason Morales, they're trying to get back to the bumper of Nathan Maurer.
As right now, again, single file on the racetrack. Thomas, we talked about the run the 23 machine had to end stage number 1, not seeing the same speed here in stage number 2 as we have 11 laps to go here in this stage around 3 and 4.
Yeah, these drivers still relatively single file throughout the field. Ron Hunter has company to his inside. That's Brandon Broadfoot looking for a position. Can't get the job done. 3 and 4. Raul Meza really loose there off of 4.
Yeah, Raul Meza was doing a little dancing off the exit of 4 there at 37. She's trying to hold on to that truck. We talked about it, Tyler. At 37 is just trying to get a good finish out of this race here tonight. Sliding around the racetrack will not be a good equation to do so. Still single file down to 3.
That's the challenging part of this racetrack. It's so easy to overdrive it, especially on exit. You want to get back to the throttle. You want to have these big runs down the straightaways. But when you do that, you open yourself up to making mistakes and getting sideways as you lose grip on that right rear. So it's just important to note that these drivers are really trying to search for both grip, but also just kind of patience and balance in these trucks.
Patience and balance is one thing. The Ford machine, as we get a good look at that Toyota logo on the grill here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Not only is Adam Newbert the fastest truck so far of the night with a 34.50, but also the fastest truck last time by. So again, Tyler, that Ford machine here in stage number 2 is just cruising around this track.
Yeah, Adam Newbert was significantly faster than Stephen Thomas early in the run, but it was those last 5 laps. Stephen Thomas was, I would say, about 2/10 faster on that 30-lap run than Adam Newbert. We're not going to get a 30-lap green flag run here in stage number 2. Really only going to be about a 15-lap green flag run after that other caution. So these drivers experiencing a little bit of a different challenge here in stage 2. Very, very short, but they have to prepare themselves for that very, very long stage 3, which will be about probably 60 to 65 laps once the caution period of stage number 2 is concluded.
As you're starting to see those dogs start to bark right now, Carriage View and Morales are going crossover here. Carriage View just took the position away from Jason Morales in that 5. The 5 said, okay, I'll fight you back for it. Went side by side with the 7 machine. 7 machine's going to clear down into 3. Now the 5 has to worry about Justin Lumpkin and that 18 machine behind him. These are all battles to get up inside that top 5 as we come off of corner number 4. Make it lap 55 down to 1.
Brandon Broadfoot just took the move to Ron Hunter. Ron Hunter way overdrove 3 and 4, went all the way up almost to the wall. I think Brandon Broadfoot positioned over the driver he's battling currently, I think, for the last spot in these playoffs. But he overdrives 1 and 2. It's going to give Ron Hunter an opportunity here down the back straightaway. Nope, doesn't get the runoff he needs. Kyle Hess now coming back into the equation for some stage points here late. Meanwhile, Justin White up to 7th position so far.
You saw Ron Hunter there just get a little loose, a little bit of a wiggle there, just caused him just that little bit of speed around the corner here as we come off of 4 and put another lap in the books down to corner number 1. Raul Meza's right there in that 37. Hess in that 86 is now starting to climb back up through the grid. We look at some big movers of the night. Of course, Nathan Maurer up 9 spots from the drop of the green flag. But another driver you have to watch out for there, Tyler, is that 24 machine of Brad Bradfoot up 7 spots from the drop of the green flag. Make it 6. As again, Kyle Hess is going to go to the inside here, down into the corner. Big moves from the 86.
Yeah, a very chaotic situation there, 1 and 2. They all kind of caught Steve Barnett in a bad position, and now they're going to be 2 by 2 by 2. Robbie Richards now back in the equation. But let's go back up to the front of the field. A battle is brewing for the lead. Thomas has chased down at Newbert here late in stage number 2. We have 4 laps to go, and he's brought Nathan Maurer and Terry Trevue with him.
Yeah, he did this exact same thing there in stage number 1 with a big late run, maybe timing it just a little bit different here in stage number 2. Maybe not waiting so long as we dig down to corner number 3. Right now, the 23 machine, as you mentioned, Tyler is bringing that 971. We have quite the battle to end out stage number 2, not only at the top of the grid, but inside that top 10 where those stage points will be oh so important as we make it lap 58 down to 1.
Yeah, the battle here has definitely closed in. 3 laps to go in stage number 2. And these trucks have less than a truck length between the 3 of them, as it's only about a half truck length back to Thomas, and then less than that to Maurer. Who's going to look to the inside here in 3 and 4? Will he make the move? Nope, he tucks back in line.
Nathan Maurer thought about it there, was just dipping his toes in the water, quickly followed right back behind that 23 machine, realizing his moment will come. As we come off corner number 4, we make it lap 59 down into corner number 1. Thomas to the inside of the 4. We have a battle for the lead on the apex of 1 and 2. Nathan Maurer thought about making it 3 wide. Wisely going to stay behind that 4 machine as we're side by side off at 2 for the race lead.
Yeah, and that move to the inside may cost Thomas second here in the stage. Maurer and Newbert get better runs off the corner. We're going to have 1 to go in the stage when they get back around to the front straightaway. Thomas, though, rolls the center of 3 and 4 so well. He'll clear and get back to the second position. Can he try a move again on Adam Newbert down here in 1 and 2?
Thomas just hit the jets in that 23 machine. He's now going to go to the inside of the 4. Not going to have enough room to make the move here around 1 and 2. Thomas wants the stage wins. Going to ride the middle line around 1 and 2. Down the back stretch right now. Thomas is right there. Bauer is right there in the 971. See if Newberg can hold on down into 3.
Yeah, this is going to be a last-ditch effort if Thomas gets it. Carrick Chabu's looking for a last-ditch effort. He's going to look to the inside of Maurer. Can't get them pass done. Thomas trying to get a run off of 4, but it looks like it'll be too little, too late. Adam Newbert will win stage number 2 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. Second goes to Stephen Thomas. Third goes to Nathan Maurer. Fourth, Carrick Chabu. Fifth will be, I believe, Jason Morales. Sixth, Justin Lumpkin. Meanwhile, I think the rest of your top 10 should be 7th, Justin White, 8th, Steve Barnett, 9th, Kyle Hess, and Ron Hunter steals position number 10. The battle for 8th through 12th ends with Raul Meza, Robbie Richards, and Brandon Broadfoot on the outside of your top 10 for stage points.
Yeah, and look at that, Tyler. Ron Hunter now with 2 top 10 finishes here in stage 1 and 2. What does Ron Hunter in that 30 machine have to do here to close out this race to lock in his position for those playoffs?
It's not necessarily anything he can do to lock himself in, but he can put himself in a much better position looking forward to next week at Las Vegas by continuing to run in the top 10. And if Brandon Broadfoot doesn't get the finish he needs tonight, i.e. Ron Hunter finishes ahead of Brandon Broadfoot tonight, really in any capacity, that'll put Ron Hunter in a great position looking forward to next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, especially with the results of Cody Knott and Donnie Lyons tonight. So definitely a lot to happen here still. And also Brandon Bullock having another poor performance tonight. He got involved in that wreck, although he's back on track. You're looking at that 17. So we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to talk to your Stage 2 winner, Adam Newbert. And we're back here for the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 from Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. And I am standing by with your Stage 2 winner, Adam Newbert. Adam, Stage 1, Stage 2, you did what I did on Friday night. Do you have what it takes to do what I couldn't do and finish off this race and win all 3?
Yeah, I don't know. These guys are getting fast, man. I told you, Steven's starting to show his strength, and Nathan Maurer starting to show his strength. So we got some fast guys right here. I lost the lead, so we'll see what happens right here.
Is it going to allow you to maybe save more of that right front, though, now that you're kind of being able to just follow Steven, necessarily not have to drive hard to stay ahead of him here in this third stage?
Yeah, we probably drove a little bit harder right there in that second stage, too, just because it was a shortened stage, and we didn't have to put 30 laps in the tires like we did in the first stage with the caution and everything. So, it's back to long run mode right here, and just try to finish this thing out with a good finish.
There may be a little bit of pit strategy to be had here. You're only about 5 to 10 laps outside your fuel window to make it to the end. If we have green flags throughout, could you maybe see some drivers take no tires and just do a splash and dash to the end?
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. Tires are pretty important here. I mean, you burn them up pretty quick. And this track, it gets so tight when you know, after about 10 laps, it gets really tight and plowing. So I don't see that happening.
Well, Adam, we thank you for talking with us so much tonight. Obviously, you've been a busy man here in the NASRA 360 Racing Network booth tonight for the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Hopefully, we'll be talking with you after the race, but good luck rest of the way.
Yeah, I'll see y'all in Victory Lane. How about that?
Sounds like a plan to us. That was Adam Newbert, your winner of stage number 2, your pole sitter, and your winner of stage number 1. So, Will, can he complete the trifecta, or really is it a quadfecta at this point, because he did have the pole?
Yeah, it's a good run so far here tonight. Adam already has some cash in his pocket, but Tyler, I don't mean to put the spotlight on you again, but we saw it out of you on Friday night, winning stage 1 and 2, leading all those pretty stats as well. But it only matters if you can lead that last lap. But here we go. Tyler Paystruck is off. We're going to go green flag racing here to close out this race.
Yeah, Stephen Thomas, Adam Newbert front row, making Nathan Maurer, Jason Morales row 2. Kerry Chabu, Justin Lumpkin rounding out row number 3. Stephen Thomas gets us going. Green flag racing here in stage number 3. The final sprint to the finish. Ironically, just crossing the halfway point. 65 to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park.
Yeah, Thomas very fast here to start off the closing stages of this race, coming off of quarter number 2. Big runs to end stage 1 and 2. Some drivers getting very curious for the top side wall off of quarter number 2 down into 3. Still Thomas in that 23 machine leading the way.
Stick with it, Motorsports 1-2. That's Toyotas up front. Then you have the Chevys of Nathan Maurer and Jason Morales. And then another Toyota, the Stick with It Motorsport of Justin Lumpkin. That's 3 teammates all inside the top 5. Can they take the entire podium? That's going to require Justin Lumpkin to get by Morales and Maurer.
Very frantic pace to start off the last run of this race. We're going to run just under 70 laps to close out this race here tonight. Single file down the backstretch right now here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. This is the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 here. The second to last race of the regular season. Almost seeing Robbie Richardson the 48, Ryan Bradford in the 24 getting crunched up there off of 4. Tyler, the 24 machine doesn't need any of that here tonight.
No, Brandon Broadfoot, I know he sees Ron Hunter, the driver he's battling, just ahead of him, but he has to realize he still had a bit of a points gap to that driver. He needs to take a deep breath here, relax, and not put himself in a position where he can lose even more points by getting involved in an accident.
But Brandon Bradfoot there, all on an island by himself in the inside lane, keeps trying to the inside of the 48. 48's not having it, though. Robbie Richards keeps closing the door, letting the 24 know you're not getting by without a fight. You see the 37 machine of Raul Meza now come into picture here in the NASRA 360 Racing Network down into corner number 1. 69 laps into this race of 130 has been the Adam Newbert show so far here in that 4, but Thomas is leading the way down the backstretch.
That's Donnie Lyons coming out pit road to salvage maybe some points. He's going to be 1 lap down. Meanwhile, everyone else who's on pit road is from that big incident early on. Those drivers either have completed repairs or they are out for the remainder of the race. So Curtis Rogers, Tyler Daniels, those both drivers are out. Everyone else, meanwhile, opting to get whatever they can repaired because they realize how valuable points are at this point in the season with just 2 races remaining before the playoffs. Meanwhile, though, relatively single file throughout the top 10. These drivers just kind of feeling out this process early on as we have just over 60 laps remaining.
Yeah, down the backstretch, single file right now. And Tyler, one thing that sometimes occurs in these long seasons, through the All-Star breaks, you have your wins, you're locked into those playoff races, you've got about 3 races left, 2 races left in the season. You tend to lose that drive, you tend to lose that competitiveness, your results start to lack just a little bit. But we're not really seeing that here tonight, Tyler. All of these drivers here in this field with 2 races to go in the regular season are really coming out swinging here tonight. Of course, Adam Newbert won stage 1 and 2. Oh, Robbie Richards sideways. Robbie Richards sideways off the corner and going to smack the inside wall. That should bring out a caution flag. The 48 machine is beaten and banged up here down the backstretch.
I don't think that will be a caution. He was off the racing surface. It's a single car spin. He will not get that iRacing caution here. Meanwhile, though, Jason Morales had a chance to get by Nathan Maurer. Couldn't get the job done. Otherwise, though, Steven Thomas has opened up over a half-second lead on Adam Newber, who has a half-second back to him for Nathan Maurer. Battle, though, Lumpkin and Gary Tribune there for that 5th position.
And you're starting to see it right there off of 2. We just saw it at a driver as we come into 3 and 4 off of 2. Something about that exit, Tyler, starting to give these drivers a little bit of a fits. Keep an eye out here on this green flag run.
It is where the more significant banking comes into a flatter surface. It's also a tighter radius corner there down in 1 and 2, so it's going to possess a unique challenge for these drivers here as they're going from a steep banking to a flat surface in a relatively quick period of time there. And of course, this is a very worn surface, so you're going to see these right rear tires get burned up, and it's very, very hot. Track temperature currently extremely high. It's well over 90 degrees now, so not as hot as it was earlier in the race, but still relatively warm for these trucks.
You're seeing a battle taking place right now. Starting to see some of these trucks slide just a little bit here across the line, make a lap 74 down in the corner. Number 1, we're going to ride on board with that 30 machine of Ron Hunter. And Tyler, we've touched on it here a few times here tonight, what that 30 machine has to do.
Yeah, Ron Hunter really just needs to have a good consistent finish. As you look, there's Brandon Broadfoot, the driver he's really competing with for that 16th position here in points. Ron Hunter has been missing some of his entries recently. He needs to refocus, relax, run his line, because he has been faster than Broadfoot throughout the race, but he keeps making small mistakes that allows Broadfoot to catch up to him. Meanwhile, a battle for the lead is getting a little bit closer as Adam Newber is starting to reel in his teammate, Steven Thomas. You're looking back from Adam Newber on Nathan Maurer, now looking ahead at Steven Thomas. Single file again throughout the field, except for that battle between Hunter and Broadfoot back there. Broadfoot to the inside as they exit 2 down the back straightaway.
We're going to ride on board with that 4 machine. No, we're going to jump back out to this corner camera. 4 machine, you see right there, Tyler's going to ride that inside lane. Around 3 and 4, Thomas still leading the way. He's going to put another lap in the books right now. We're counting them down to lap 130 as you're still seeing Brandon Bradfoot in that 24 machine. Now starting to have a little bit of an issue as Raul Mez in that 37 will go around the 24. 24 is losing just a little pace here, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I'm going to see if I can find it, but he seemed to have lost a lot of ground after racing side by side with Hunter off of 1 and 2, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to try and go back and get at least an update for you all. Epi got loose there off of 2 on the bottom by himself. No contact made. He's going to lose a lot of ground to that Ron Hunter machine.
Yeah, Brandon Bradfoot right now looks like he's just trying to get that thing running once again. Just very sluggish here at the tail end of this pack, right behind the 37 of Raul Meza. Going to lose a little pace. Doesn't want to drift back there. The 14 machine of Chris Blanchard back there. Chris Blanchard's had a bit of an issue here tonight. Robbie Richards just got sideways. We just saw that just a little while ago. Then he started to creep into some lapped cars. Only 14 trucks left on the lead lap here tonight, Tyler.
Yeah, and that's a lot of that was caused by that big accident there and early on in stage number 2. Meanwhile, we got a very good battle here for the 3rd position between Maurer, Morales, and Tribune, who have left Justin Lumpkin behind at this point.
Right now, a big hornet's nest of drivers as Morales in the 5 machine is going to try to the inside of Nathan Maurer in the 971. We talked about what needs to happen for the 971 to reignite that fire that he had blazing in the middle of the season. 3 straight wins for the 971 has yet to find victory lane since that streak in the middle of the season. 971 is trying to do it, though. Currently 3rd. Watch a battle for 4th right behind him. Coach, sideways.
Yeah, he made contact with those rumble strips on the bottom, and his left sides came loose and unglued, and he's going to lose all that momentum he had worked for. I thought he was maybe the 3rd fastest truck on track, but he's got a lot of ground to make up now to catch back up with Morales and Maurer and all of those who got back around him. Meanwhile, Justin White leading a pack of about 4 trucks, followed by Kyle Hess, Ron Hunter, and Raul Meza, and then a bit of a gap back to Brandon Broadfoot there. So these drivers trying to just readjust and realize that these trucks are handling worse and worse. Adam Newbert, your new leader, he has gotten by his teammate Steven Thomas. Nathan Maurer has really reeled these 2 in as well. We have a battle for the lead between the 3 of them.
80 down to corner number 1. These three drivers don't care that we have still a long way to go in tonight's race. You're looking at around still 51 laps to go. These drivers don't care. They want to be on top of the grid off of corner number 2. Nathan Maurer right there, especially in the third position. Just saw that change for the lead. He wants some of the action here as we dig down to corner number 3 and 4, still single file.
Yeah, last time by, Nathan Maurer was the fastest truck on track. This time by, though, I believe it'll be Adam Newbert once we get the lap times in here. Yeah, it looks like Adam Newbert was your fastest truck on track. No, correction, Jason Morales, fastest truck on track by 0.06 of a second. Stephen Thomas, the slowest of all of the top 5 trucks meanwhile. So Stephen Thomas may have burnt his stuff up early on in this run here. We still have a long way to go in here. So we have 50 laps to go to the end of this race. We figured fuel window, though, Will, is about 55 to 60 laps, especially as we get later in these runs. These drivers are going to be lifting more, braking more, less on-throttle time. So checking to see if anyone maybe tries and stretches fuel. It's a 65-lap run since we've gone green.
We just saw a change for second. Nathan Maurer stole that position from the 23 of Thomas. The 23 is not going to try to the inside of 1 and 2 right now. And that's strange to me, Tyler. You just touched on it there, 23 machine using up the equipment too early. When we saw the 23 machine in stages 1 and 2, the 23 waited late in those runs. You know, kind of ran out of time in both those stages. 23 machine now is sort of just trying to hold on a position, which is very different than what we saw there. As now Morales going to try to the inside of the 23, going to get that door shut on him as we make it now lap 83 into corner number 1. The 5 machine of Morales, though, has had a pretty quiet, great night inside the top 5.
I think a lot of that, Will, is the fact that Thomas wasn't leading. Therefore, he was not setting the pace. He just had to follow Newbert and kind of pick his marks. When you're leading, though, you're trying to get away from the guy behind you. You can tend to overdrive it a bit more sometimes on these tracks where maybe braking and lifting is a bigger deal. So maybe with Thomas leading, he overdrove it more than he had been all night. And we're kind of seeing the effects of that now, unlike earlier on in this race where he was kind of just pacing himself off of Adam Newbert and kind of had, options when he was running.
Yeah, right now, Pack still very frantic right now. We see Thomas still inside, still having a great run. We're speaking as though Stephen Thomas's run hasn't been great so far, up 3 spots from the drop of the green flag, currently in a podium position. Has some pressure, though, from the 5 machine of Jason Morales, currently 4th. Justin Lumpkin in the 18 machine, currently 5th. Steve Barnett in that 42. He's struggled just a little bit, slid just a little bit down the grid. Now battling to stay inside the top 10, currently 6th. Kerry Tribune in that 7th. Justin White, we talked about our current points leader, a man who's just stacking up consistent great runs week after week. Right now has a top 10 run in that 2 machine, currently 8th. Kyle Hess in the 86 machine is 9th. And our top 10 here tonight, Tyler, is bookended by Raul Meza up 9 spots from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, it looked like maybe Steve Barnett had made some contact with that outside wall as we continue to go through the field. Currently in the 11th position is Ron Hunter. 12th is Brandon Broadfoot. That battle between those 2 drivers should be very fun to watch next week at Las Vegas for those final playoff spots, along with Cody Knott and Donnie Lyons. Meanwhile, Chris Blanchard sits 13th, and Robbie Richards, your last driver on the lead lap, sits 14th. He had that incident. We saw him spin out on his own down the back straightaway early here in stage number 3. No caution was brought out. Meanwhile, 2 trucks, 1 lap down. That's Donnie Lyons and Dan Hagan sitting 15th and 16th. Then you have your first driver to get out from pit road after that major accident. That's Brandon Bullock. He is sitting in 17th. Tim Hammond still on pit road getting repairs done from that major incident, as well as Jason Stevenson, who I believe has left the session. He's officially retired his truck, as well as Curtis Rogers. Meanwhile, though, I believe Sean Hamilton and Cody Knott still trying to repair their trucks and get back out on the racetrack. So took you through the field here. Adam Newbert, though, back out in front, officially getting by Stephen Thomas to retake the lead here early on in stage number 3 as we're coming towards the halfway point of the stage.
Adam Newbert's going to take us off the corner right now. I just saw the 971, though, Tyler, have a little bit of a tail wiggle there. The 971 starting to get a little loose. The 23 machine of Thomas is right there. One thing that I've noticed so far here tonight, though, Tyler, the 4 of Newbert, I have not seen get loose one time nor touch that top side wall. Just very clean, very precise here tonight, down to 3.
Now, Adam Newbert has run this race almost as perfectly as you could have run it. Yeah, he lost a spot on pit road after stage number 2, but he has controlled the race throughout. But as this field is super thin right now, the probability of a caution here in stage number 3 is extremely low. That means green flag stops are most likely going to occur for the field. And when I brought up the possibility of maybe some drivers taking fuel only and trying to just win by getting ahead and not taking tires, he kind of seemed shocked by that and didn't realize there was a very small amount of lap difference between what a full tank can do and how long this third stage is. He shrugged it off, saying there's no way it's going to happen. These drivers care too much about their tires. But I think you may see one of these drivers who doesn't have a win yet on the season maybe try something different here. There's only 2 races left in the regular season. You can't win if you're going to just follow the leader.
And one driver that really stands out to me that may play that card here tonight might be Jason Morales in that 5 machine. Currently 4th, qualified 2nd here tonight. A driver that's really trying to break through heading into those playoff races. A win for that 5 camp. Really get things moving in the right directions as we head into the playoffs. Right now we're riding on board with that Toyota of Adam Newbert, that 4 machine. Currently leading the way here. Holding off Nathan Maurer, the 971. Nathan Maurer, though, we see Tyler as we're riding on board here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Just keeps trying and trying. Not content with running 2nd right now.
No, in the last few laps, he's been maybe slightly better than Adam Newbert, although Stephen Thomas has seemed to have figured out whatever was ailing him earlier on or midway through this run. He has now rejoined these front 2. Meanwhile, they've left Jason Morales, Steve Barnett, and the rest of the field behind. So I think you're seeing the front 3 who dominated most of stage 2 regain that control of this race. Nathan Maurer, though, looking to the inside of Adam Newbert, kind of diamonding these exits now. He's going to have a good run down this front straightaway, maybe looking to the inside in turns 1 and 2, and he will look into the inside 1 and 2 here as he enters, and they're going to be side-by-side, Maurer and Newbert.
Yeah, Nathan Maurer, the 971, still trying to stay side-by-side with the 4 machine off of the corner right now. This is a battle for the lead here on lap 92. See if we have a new race leader as we head down to corner number 3, still side-by-side for the race lead. Thomas, you have right there. Maurer right there. Newbert in the 4 machine. Morales in the 5 is going to watch him afar. Nathan Maurer, though, going to clear 2nd. Adam Newbert still our race leader. Make it lap 93 down to corner 1.
Nathan Maurer struck did not like the bottom at all. He lost a little bit of ground there to Adam Newbert being forced on the bottom by Stephen Thomas. Thomas did not opt to make a pass there, though. He pushed Nathan Maurer. Meanwhile, it looks like Justin Lumpkin has come in for pit stops. I believe, yes, he's officially pitted. He is back out on track. So the cycle of pit stops has begun. Justin Lumpkin, your first driver to come down pit road. Meanwhile, that'll slot Ron Hunter up a spot. It looks like Lumpkin has been into the fence. So maybe that was a call because he has some damage on that right side. Meanwhile, though, Hunter trying to chase down Raul Meza, Kyle Hess, and Justin White as Brandon Broadfoot tries to chase down him. Things have kind of spaced out a little bit up front, about a truck length between the 3 leaders. No side-by-side action. Meanwhile, Jason Morales trying to reel both of them back in. Although Stephen Thomas had a great run through 1 and 2 that time, Will.
Yeah, things are going to get very hectic in a very short amount of time here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. This may be your opportunity to go grab a drink, go grab a snack. These drivers will get their green flag pit stops out of the way. It's just when and where those pit stops will occur. We're going to have quite the shakeup on the grid, so get ready for quite the showdown here, Tyler, because once everything shakes out, we should have less than about 20 to 25 laps to go.
Yeah, I think Stephen Thomas, again, is now the fastest truck on track. He gave a shot to the back of Nathan Maurer's 971 that time by on the front straightaway. And Maurer starting to lose the back end of Adam Newbert. Maurer diving in deeper and deeper every lap in these corners, and that's going to really hurt that right front here as we get later on. But Adam Newbert's got to be careful. The last few laps, his left sides have been getting closer and closer to that rumble strip on the bottom there of 3 and 4, and we saw what happened to, I believe, it was Kerry Tribune when he got his left sides on those rumble strips. He almost wrecked the truck.
Yeah, these 3 drivers up at the top of the grid have been linked to one another. Now, what I have to say, Tyler, for the last 25 to 30 laps, these drivers have just been 1, 2, 3 one driver will lead a lap or two, another driver will lead a lap or two. They have just slowly and methodically set in the pace here tonight off of corner number 4. Make a lap 97 as the 23 is going to try to the inside of the 971. Huge run down into corner number 1 side by side. The 23 of Thomas will take that position from the 971 of Mowers, who come off of 2 23 machines trying to get up to the top of the grid, as still Adam Newber, our race leader, take us into 3.
Yeah, Maurer just essentially said to him, go ahead and take it. He realized he made a big mistake off of 4. The truck was very sideways, and he said, all right, Steven, I know you want that spot. You had the run. I made the mistake. Go get it. Meanwhile, though, if that happens 30 laps from now, I don't think you're going to see that same courtesy from that 971 of Nathan Maurer. Maybe you'll see him fight for that position a little bit harder. As it stands, though, we still have 43 laps to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. And that battle for the lead may be heating up again now as Stephen Thomas's truck has come alive here in the last 10 laps.
Now Thomas still in the second position trying to chase down our leader, the 4 of Newber. But Tyler, you still have to keep in mind green flag pit stops will be a bit of a wrench in the mix to the conclusion of tonight's race, racing it down to lap 130 here. 99 laps in the books, down to corner number 1.
And, you know, I had said before that Morales was seemingly being left behind. That does not seem to be the case anymore. Morales has rejoined this group of 3, but what is happening is they are about to catch lap traffic here up ahead. Not necessarily sure what driver that is on track. I believe that's the 39 of Dan Hagen. The leaders are about to catch here, entering 3-4. Nathan Mowers just came over the race chat and said he is pitting this time by, so will be interesting to see how pit cycles work here tonight. Mauer's going to do the late pit entry. Nope, he said he was pitting, but he did not pit. So I'm interested to see what was meant by that. Maybe he realized he missed the access road.
It could have been that lap truck kind of came into play there, just maybe slowed down that truck just a little bit. Couldn't get down pit road fast enough here as we come off with 2. See which dominoes begin to fall. Which green flag pit stop will be the first. Now, Adam Newber will take us down to 3.
Brandon Broadfoot just came over the race, said he's pitting. There's Nathan Maurer. Yep, realized he has to pit there from that position. Jason Morales also coming down pit road. He follows Nathan Maurer in. It's kind of a race. It's super flat down there on that access road, Will. And then you have to make sure you slow down before those yellow cones right there. That's where the pit road speed limit begins. You see Maurer kind of surprised at what point that came up on him.
Starting to see a little bit of that shuffle on the scoring pylon right now. Brandon Bradfoot down pit road as well. You see Christopher Blanchard just got a shot of that truck. Adam Newber, still our race leader down the back, just going to stay out there with Stephen Thomas in that 23. Ron Hunter in that 30 is back out on the track as well.
Newber and Thomas are in.
And you see right now Newber and
Thomas in the grass.
Oh no!
He kept it straight, but he's going to lose significant time there on entry. He may drop down to 4th or 5th once this pit cycle's over, depending on how he's able to exit. A costly mistake, I believe, there for Stephen Thomas, as it looks like Kerry Tribune still out on the racetrack, as well as Ron Hunter. Those 2 will inherit 1st and 2nd. Those 2 are one of 4 drivers to yet to pit, Chris Blanchard and Robbie Richards being the other 2 to pit here. They've yet to come in for their service, but the real battle's going to be see where Nathan Maurer comes out in relation to Adam Newber here. Came in 1 lap before. Doesn't make much of a difference. We'll see here as Adam Newber gets his 4 tires here. He's about to get off of pit road. Looking to see where Nathan Maurer is on the track. Stephen Thomas gets done with his service. Maybe Adam Newber slid through his box. Thomas is first off pit road despite missing his entry. Maurer's going to have a big lead over both of these drivers here.
Huge shake-up to the end of the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150. We tried to warn you folks at home here in the Nauser 360 Racing Network what would happen in the closing stages of this race. Always we've seen week after week these green flag pit stops, these strategies you have to make, you have to prepare for. You have to do your homework in stage 1 and 2. Make sure you're ready for that final exam. And right now, Nathan Maurer is the man with all the answers, currently going to be the race leader when everything shakes out.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Adam Newbert's stop was 20.88 seconds. He didn't slide through his box. I wonder if he maybe picked up some damage or messed up on what he wanted for pit service, and so he had to recheck and sit in the box a little bit longer. Adam Newbert has fallen back behind Steve Barnett, behind Stephen Thomas, behind Jason Morales, behind Nathan Maurer. He's just barely ahead of Justin White. Meanwhile, back out front, you still have Kerry Tribune and Ron Hunter, but those two drivers obviously are going to fall way back once they pit, staying out on these old tires for as long as they are.
Right now, as we just talked about, this grid will get reshuffled. Drivers will again get their pit stops out of the way. But Tyler, we have less than 26 laps to go. Pretty interesting race so far. We've had a couple of different leaders. We've had a couple of drivers that have really dominated the pace of this race. But not a lot of caution flags here tonight, Tyler. I don't think we've had one on-track caution tonight.
We had the one major incident at the beginning of stage number 2, and other than that, it's been a relatively clean affair. All these drivers have made several mistakes throughout. It's still been clean. You see Cody Knott multiple laps down getting by Robbie Richards, but that's Jason Morales, the first driver behind Nathan Maurer currently on track. He has to chase down Nathan Maurer, which is a tall task for anyone in this series with how good of a driver Nathan Maurer is. Stephen Thomas is a couple seconds behind Jason Morales. But Jason Morales has a bit of ground to make up on that 971 machine. I believe the gap is just under 3 seconds right now.
Yeah, with 25 laps to go, I was going to ask you, Tyler, is that 971 Nathan Maurer, is he inside the cockpit of that truck now starting to go along that checklist? Okay, I got this done. I got this pit stop out of the way. My timing's good. We take a look at that SpongeBob SquarePants helmet inside the cockpit of the 971. Is it now he's starting to check things off here, starting to cruise his way to victory, or do you think he's still locked in?
I think he still has to remain locked in just because anything can happen. You don't want to get out of that mentality of staying focused forward. And it's still interesting to see. Maybe Kerry Tribune and Ron Hunter try to stretch the fuel and go to the end, which would be a shocking upset for either one of these drivers to bring home the win. Point thing, though, to note is Nathan Maurer is about a second, maybe a second and a half faster a lap than those two leaders right now. And he's only 21 seconds behind the leader, only about 18 seconds behind Ron Hunter. So he will catch them, most likely, unless we see some significant fall off from Nathan Maurer here in the coming 5 to 10 laps. But he definitely has the speed to go get those guys. He ran another sub-35 second lap that time by, so be interesting to see what those front two drivers are thinking here as we enter these last 20-ish laps of this race, Will.
Yeah, right now the 971 we rode on board here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. And folks,
caution is out.
Caution is out. Caution is out on the racetrack here. We'll get to see what brought out the caution. I think it might be that 48 of Robbie Richards here. Caution is out here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network.
And you know who this actually plays in the hands for the best? Kerry Tribune and Ron Hunter. Yeah, they may be further back in the pack, but here's the thing to keep note of. Oh, please don't take out Justin White. Nope, he just backs it into the fence. Robbie Richards. Looks like no one else involved, so that'll bring out your caution here, your second caution for cause. Nathan Maurer is now been dragged back in by Morales, Thomas, and Newbert. And Ron Hunter and Kerry Tribune will be on significantly fresher tires than the rest of the field around them. So I think this race is far from over at this point.
Yeah, for the 971 and Nathan Maurer, I just talked about there, Tyler, going along that checklist. Essentially can crumple up that checklist now, Tyler. The whole grid's going to be reassembled there, but he's going to be back in line. The 971, the Nathan Maurer, we're starting to calculate how many victories he has in the season. We're starting to cruise to a 4th win here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. But now here, Tyler, it's going to be anybody's race as we close out here the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150.
Yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back uninterrupted for the final 20-ish laps of this race. we're back here at the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And we thought, Will, as we were going to break, that everyone that had already pitted was gonna stay out, and that everyone who had not yet pit, i.e. Kerry Tribute and Ron Hunter, were gonna come and pit, get fresh tires. And really what we had happen was a mix of the two. We had drivers stay out, and we had drivers come in and pit. And now that we've reestablished your running order, Jason Morales is the only driver who did not pit at lap 110. He'll be your race leader. He last pitted at lap 100, so about 8 laps on those tires. Kerry Tribute is going to cycle out to second. Ron Hunter cycles out third. Justin White comes out fourth, gaining a bunch of spots on pit road. Nathan Maurer will be fifth. Sixth will be Chris Blanchard. Stephen Thomas will be seventh. Adam Newbert eighth. So those two drivers are losing a lot of ground here due to the cycle of stops. Steve Barnett ninth, and Kyle Hess will be your top 10. Brandon Broadfoot back in 11th. Rome as a 12th. And Robbie Richards, your last truck on the lead lap in 13th position. I believe Justin Lumpkin will also be on the lead lap, and he's currently on pit road getting his service after receiving the lucky dog. So that'll make 14 trucks on the lead lap as we come down to the end of this race. But I have to say, Will, none of us saw this coming.
Oh, nobody saw this coming, indeed. Morales in that 5 machine has been a top 5 truck here so far tonight. Now leading the way, but what I like the most here tonight, Tyler, really opens the door for anybody to snatch a victory. You know, we look at Ron Hunter in that 30. He wins tonight. He's locked into the playoffs. You don't have to worry about doing any calculations next week at Vegas. You look at Blanchard inside the top 10 as well. Hasn't been running very strong here tonight. Could snag a top 10 finish. Hess is up there in the 86. A lot of drivers now in contention, whereas in stage 1 and 2, and even I would say a quarter into this run, weren't maybe in the mix, now has a chance to snag that checkered flag.
Yeah, Jason Morales currently 9th in points. He has no win on the season. Kerry Tribute, he doesn't have a win on the season. Ron Hunter, who's on the outside looking in, he doesn't have a win on the season. Your first 3 drivers, all winless so far this year on the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, trying to get the win here tonight. But that means Jason Morales, who's currently going to make the playoffs, looking for his win to get some playoff points tonight, will lead the field to green, and we will have just 17 laps to go in this race. He gets a great start. That's going to hurt Kerry Tribute, but that's going to really help Ron Hunter on the inside. Meanwhile, Nathan Maurer is going to look maybe to the inside of his friend Justin White. Here's we had a 1 and 2. Adam Newbert with a great restart up to 6th.
Big pile up down to 1 and 2. Justin White's going to get shoved up the racetrack there by Ron Hunter in that 30 machine, the 971. Nathan Mauer's going to get a big push from Adam Newbert in that 4. Oh my goodness, almost puts him sideways. The 971's going to hold on down to 3.
That was a bad block attempt by Maurer. Newbert was to his inside. Maurer tries to throw the block. Does not work at all. Meanwhile, we have a spin there in the back. Car on the wall. That's Brandon Broadfoot. He's going to come back across and collect. Oh, that's the 29 of Donnie Lyons. We have caution flag is out again. And I think you may see that 971 try and move the number 4 here on this next restart.
My goodness, for Brandon Bradfoot in that 24 machine. We've been speaking all night long what these last 2 races of the season mean for that 24 camp. And now we're going to see him get tagged up with the 26 of Cody Knott right there. Going to see exactly what happened. It looked like maybe the 48 of Robbie Richards may have been involved as well.
Yeah, the 24 just missed the corner entirely, hits the outside wall coming off the 4, comes back down. It looks like he collects Donnie Lyons. Does Cody Knott get stopped in time? Yes, he does. Or is that Brandon Bullock? I'm not really sure who we're riding on board with in this shot. Oh, that's Cody Knott from Madeira, California. Number 26 machine. So he does get stopped, doesn't get involved in another incident tonight, which is good for him. I know he's trying to make some points up, and he will make a few points up because of that incident. I believe Donnie Lyons, he should be able to get back around, but is this on board with Brandon Broadfoot? This is on board with Donnie Lyons. You'll see Brandon Broadfoot up ahead just miss the exit, get loose, and it was on from there. And Donnie Lyons just a victim of circumstance, so we got to feel bad for that 79 machine. But yeah, this race is far from over, Will. Just when I thought maybe we're going to get a little bit spread out and we're going to have some interesting battles here late, we get another caution, and we're going to probably have just about 10, 11 laps to go. We go green. We will take this time to appreciate everyone who's tuned in tonight so far for the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park and the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, brought to you by the NASR 360 Broadcasting Racing Network. Adam Flieger's been our producer so far this evening, doing a wonderful job getting you all the shots in action. Will Tiller's been my best friend up here in the booth. Obviously, Will and I bringing the action to you guys here every week on Monday nights. And Will, I gotta say, despite this race maybe having long green flag runs, it's definitely had plenty of action throughout.
It really has. I talked about the interchanging of the lead. We had a 3-truck pack there at the top, led by the likes of Adam Newbert up there. You had Thomas Maurer up there. But, we watched that show for the first hour and a half. You watch a really good movie, Tyler. Sometimes a movie doesn't really get good until the hour and a half mark. And now here to close out this race, we're creeping up for the last 30 minutes of this race, the last 20 laps of this race. Those 3 drivers, the only one that's really left, or there are a couple of drivers, Morales in the 5 and Newbert in the 4, whereas the rest of the field, of course, Maurer is up there in the 971. The guys inside the top 5 have been drivers we haven't called out here tonight. So it's a very, very competitive, very great race here to close out the regular season.
Yeah, I think at one point in the race I said Carrick may be a driver to watch, and then he got his left sides on the rumble strips and almost spun, ruining his race. But he's worked his way back up into the second position. Ron Hunter essentially in a win and in position for himself tonight. He's sitting there in third on the inside row. But Adam Newbert, the guy who has dominated most of this race, pole sitter, won the first 2 stages. He's sitting there on the outside of row number 2. And then in row number 3, you have your regular season title fight between Justin White and Nathan Maurer. 2 buddies. We talked to Justin White at the beginning of the broadcast. He talked about his relationship with Nathan Maurer. That's an interesting battle. And Nathan Maurer is not happy with the driver ahead of him, Adam Newbert, after that last restart where maybe there was some contact had between the two. My opinion, Maurer threw a bad block and almost wrecked himself. Newbert was there to his inside. But
yeah,
Maurer doesn't see it that way, Will.
No, and I think that's going to be talked about here as we close out the regular season. Some of these blocks, if you will, these drivers are very strong in their abilities. They're always top 5 trucks, so any little move, any little bit of a wrong block is going to frustrate any of these drivers that have the ability to win week in and week out. But here tonight, Tyler, I think for some of these drivers up here, just have to worry about getting that W. You look at the 30 of Ron Hunter right there, Carriage View in the 7. So some of these drivers that might be comfortable, locked into the playoff races, now have to contend with some of these dogs that want to be in those playoff races as well.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, we will have 11 laps to go here tonight in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, just outside of St. Louis in Madison, Illinois. Wonderful facility here in the Midwest. Obviously, we're looking at it from the virtual sense, but last year, nothing could be poorly said about the facility for what the event they put on for the Cup Series race, and definitely an event I'm looking forward to enjoying in the future here in the NASCAR family of racing series. But here in the NASRA family of racing series, Will, we have 11 laps to settle who's going to make their mark into the playoffs or who's going to solidify their hold on certain playoff positions.
11 laps to go as we go down to 3 and 4. Pace lights are off of the pace truck for some of these drivers inside the top 5. It's a win and you're in. Some of these drivers in this field tonight, their playoff hopes might be all but dashed. Some of these drivers are all but locked in. We'll find out what happens here as we're down the backstretch, about to go green flag racing here, Tyler, to close out this race.
Morales gets a great jump here on the front straightaway. Green flag's in the air. Newbert gets a great jump here on the back of Carriage View. Hunter's going to hold position there. Newbert has nowhere to go to the inside. Ron Hunter's got to watch himself here in entering one. He's going to swing wide here. You're not going to get close to Newbert this time, though. No one's going to get run up the track. Meanwhile, Morales has a great jump off of the exit. Hunter's a little bit loose. He'll fall back to 4th.
Yeah, the 30 with a little bit of an overdrive off of 2 right there. Adam Newbert now going to increase position. Going to go to the inside of the 7 Carriage View into 3 and 4. Adam Newbert has been the man of the hour here tonight, trying to take that checkered flag. Now on the back bumper of Morales, we're going to make it 10 laps to go down to corner number 1.
Meanwhile, everyone's settled out single file of the top 6. It's Morales, Newbert, Tribune. That's Hunter, followed by Maurer, White, and then Thomas. Thomas to the inside of White here through 1 and 2. He's looking for that 5th position. He's going to try and get it here down the back straightaway, making a move happen. Meanwhile, back up front, those front 4 are still single file. Nothing has changed between those, making the front 5 single file, battling 6th and 7th there Maybe a little bit of contact further back in the field, but still the focus is out the front. Adam Newbert trying to chase down Jason Morales. Morales loose off of 4.
Coming off 4 right now. Nathan Maurer now trying to the inside. Now we have a battle for the lead. Adam Newbert and the 4 machine to the inside of the 5. Morales here around 1 and 2. Apex 1 and 2. Newbert will again try to the inside off of the corner. They touch off the corner. Morales is sideways right there. He's going to save it. Newbert and Morales touch off of 2. Morales is going to get the worst of it though. Going to slide down. Makes contact with Nathan Maurer.
Hunter's around.
Big wreck around 3 and 4.
Hunter around, Thomas around. Hunter gets caught out by a move by Maurer, forcing it 3 wide. I'm interested to see how that's going to be viewed. Hopefully Hunter's truck's still good to continue. Looks like right now it can, but that's going to help Brandon Broadfoot in that bubble spot, and that's going to really hurt Ron Hunter. He's going to be very upset after this incident, but let's look back at this replay. Nathan Maurer forcing the issue 3 wide here after Morales trying to recover from contact between him and Newbert. You're going to see Maurer dump to the inside. I can't blame Maurer for making this move. You have to make this move if you think you have a chance at winning.
Yeah, and you see Morales is way to the inside of the racetrack there after being shoved out of line. Nathan Maurer is going to try to shoot the gap there. But you look at the 23 of Thomas, it's actually the 23 that's going to make contact with the 30 of Hunter there. Right on the entry of the corner, Nathan Maurer is going to clear that 3 wide, and then the contact's going to be made from the 23 to the left corner, or the back fender of the 30 of Ron Hunter.
Yeah, what a save by Maurer, not spinning out after Morales and him make contact. You'll see it here from Stephen Thomas. He's sideways there, but Thomas just overdrives the entry a little bit, takes out Hunter. Hess is involved. He has damage. A bunch of other drivers have damage as well. I'm intrigued to see how race control calls that incident, but definitely maybe just a small mistake from Thomas there. I definitely didn't mean it. He's a tough competitor. He was trying to get a run here, coming down to the last few laps here at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, and again you see that 3 wide battle. Great save by Maurer from not wrecking the truck, and Morales too, but just kind of an unfortunate end for those 2 drivers' nights there after running so well, especially Hunter.
Yeah, I gotta say, we're supposed to be a little bit biased up here in the booth, or unbiased up here in the booth. But Tyler, I gotta say, I was cheering on the 30 of Ron Hunter up here in the booth with everything that was at stake here tonight. Was inside the top 5, top 10 here tonight. Had a great run for that 30 machine. Could have gone into Vegas with high hopes of making those playoff races, but here tonight, with less than 10 laps to go, we see that 30 is going to be unfortunately wrapped up on that top side wall again for Thomas in the 23. Of course, you feel something for him here tonight as well. Had a top 5 truck, maybe even a truck that could have won here tonight, Tyler. But for the 30 of Ron Hunter, going into Vegas next week, it's going to be a very monumental task to try to get into those playoff races now.
Yeah, and I won't say Hunter's out of it just because of how few cars are left in. He's off the pit road again. He'll try and make some laps here at the end, and you never know what can happen to Brandon Broadfoot, who I believe is just 1 position ahead currently on the racetrack. So the 2 of them will definitely be battling it out here for some last few points. And we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, Broadfoot has run 1 more race than Hunter, but at the end of this season, they will have the same number of races because each driver is given 2 drop races. Ron Hunter, one of his drops will be of 0 points because he missed a race, but another drop will be whatever his other worst finishes. Hunter, I mean. Broadfoot's going to have to drop his 2 worst races, which, when we kind of balance out the points, should lead to a very interesting battle. We will have updated points based off of drop weeks next week for everyone coming into Vegas. But meanwhile, back out front, Adam Newbert, Kerry Tribute, Nathan Maurer, Jason Morales. These drivers are ready to get going and try and win a race here tonight. In the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150. Should have 1 more pace lap here. And that means we're going to have about a 4-lap shootout here for the win, Will.
Yeah, 4-lap shootout to close out the race here on another fantastic Monday night of racing here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Again, if you've liked what you've seen here tonight, I'll let you go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Stay up to date with all the iRacing action that comes through here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. We're live just about every night of the week with a weekly podcast now on Wednesday night as well. Majority of our shows go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you stay up to date, of course, to this Monday night series that is creeping into playoff races. In just a week's time after tonight, we hit the Las Vegas, and then those playoff races begin. But here tonight, Tyler, we have to watch out to see if Adam Newberg can close out the show.
Yeah, you see actually Brandon Broadfoot, Ron Hunter will be starting side by side here. That's battle for position. So it'll be interesting to see how these two very beat up trucks now race each other at the end. But really the big races up front between a couple of drivers who definitely have some choice words for each other at this point. Adam Newberg, Kerry Tribune, Nathan Maurer, Jason Morales, Justin White. We haven't heard from much tonight. And Steve Barnett rounding out your top 6. Behind them, you have Chris Blanchard and Raul Meza now inside the top 10 for the first time all evening. But Adam Newberg will lead the field here to green. We will have 4 laps to go. Barney, the flag man, holds the green flag in the air, waiting for Newberg to go inside that restart zone. He does. He gets a great restart. Tribune, not as good of a restart. Meanwhile, Bauer's going to get a good jump on Morales to the inside. We should be single file for the most part, entering 1 and 2. Tribune does get down. Morales going to the outside of Nathan Maurer.
Chaotic and crazy right now off of corner number 2. Adam Newberg, our race leader in that 4 machine, is right where he's been most comfortable all night long, just singing Lionel Richie inside that cockpit, down into 3 and 4. Our race leader gonna make it 3 to go. Oh man, we almost had a truck sideways there, Tyler. 3 laps to go, down to 1.
Steve Barnett makes a great save. Back out towards the front, though. Adam Newberg has a bit of a gap. Meanwhile, you see Robbie Richards down to the inside of Steve Barnett for position. Back out front, though, it's about 2 truck lengths between Newberg and Tribune. I don't think Tribune has the truck to get by. Mowers, meanwhile, is stuck behind Kerry Tribune. These drivers have 3 laps remaining here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway Park.
Look at Raul Meza in that 37 machine, going to lock into a top 5 as Nathan Maurer is going to try to the inside of Kerry Tribune in that 7. Nathan Maurer is going to see what he has left inside that machine, make it 2 laps to go, down into 1, still side by side for second.
And that's going to continue to hurt Nathan Maurer, not getting the entry he wants. He only has, make it 8 corners to get the job done. They go through 1 and 2 for the second to last time. Maurer should get clear of Tribune here off the corner. He does get that done, but Tribune's going to look to do the crossover move on him. Can't get that pass completed. Meanwhile, you saw a truck go sliding down to the bottom. That's Robbie Richards, I believe. Back out front, though, a large gap between Newberg and Maurer as they go through 3 and 4 looking for the white flag.
Adam Newberg, again, going to have a parade lap here on this final lap, cruising his way to his second win of the season. Nathan Maurer, though, is going to look good, finishing second. Still a battle for third, though. Bruin off of 2 between Kerry Tribune and Morales in the 5.
Yeah, back out front, though. Adam Newberg almost a full second lead over Nathan Maurer. He's been the dominant truck all night, won the first 2 stages, had the pole, led the most laps, and now he will come around 3 and 4 for the final time to win his race. Morales moves Tribune out of the way for the 3rd position. Raul Meza is going to get a run here on Jason Morales here, looking for that 3rd position. Can Raul Meza get something here at the line? No, he cannot. Jason Morales steals 3rd. Means Justin White is going to, believe, finish in 6th. But definitely some irritated drivers at the end of that one. I am looking forward to hear what some of these drivers have to say about each other after that race, especially after Morales moved Tribune out of the way in the final corner on the final lap for that 3rd position.
Say Adam Newberg in that 4 machine said the dogs came to play.
Tribune just spun Morales on the back straightaway. Tribune spun Morales on the back.
And we got some heated business on the track here at Gateway. But here tonight, with all these dogs scrapping on the track, it is Adam Newberg and that 4 machine who will win the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 150 with everything that's going on after the race. Nothing can be said of the 4 machines' performance here tonight, winning stage 1, 2, and snagging that checkered flag. Everybody can be mad if they want to, Tyler, but the 4 machine will have a smile on his face at the end of the race here tonight.
Yeah, Adam Newberg, a little bit excited there, trying to start his burnout, backs it into the fence. Obviously a very narrow front straightaway here, so a bit of a challenge, but we'll have to hear from some of these drivers. He backs it in again, but we will. Adam Newberg going back-to-back here in NASRA races, winning Friday night in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series at Las Vegas, and then doing what I could not do on that Friday night and getting the job done, winning the race here after dominating much of it. just a great performance from Adam Newberg. He'll do the Alan Kowicki Polish victory lap backwards around Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. We will show you all, though, our final results. As you see, Adam Newberg, your winner. Nathan Maurer coming through some traffic there at the end. He'll finish second. Jason Morales finishes third after moving Kerry Tribute out of the way through 3 and 4 on that final lap. Raul Meza, for having a poor performance most of the race, well, I think by his standards, he would even say that, finishes fourth. Kerry Tribute slides all the way back to fifth. Justin White, your current regular season points leader, at least coming into this race, he'll be sixth. Steve Barnett will be seventh. Eighth, I believe that is missing Christopher Blanchard. Ninth position should be Kyle Hess. Oh, my bad. Eighth is Robbie Richards. Ninth is Kyle Hess. Christopher Blanchard will finish 10th. Ron Hunter will finish 11th. Justin Lumpkin 12th. Brandon Broadfoot 13th. And Dan Hagan, the other remaining truck running on track, will finish 14th.
Yeah, and then we look at the driver's pass. That a surprise finish from Stephen Thomas in that 23 machine. Going to finish 15th here tonight, 7 laps down. Donnie Lyons in the 79 will finish 16th. Brandon Bullock in the 17 truck will finish 17th to match that number on the side of that race truck here tonight. We look at the 18th position will be cutting out in the 26th. Now we're starting to see some of those drivers that were tagged up early in a big wreck here at Gateway. Tim Hammond in the 69 machine will finish 19th. We see Jason Stevenson in the 93 machine will finish 20th. Curtis Rogers in the 65. 21st position, Sean Hamilton in the 89. We saw the damage done to the 89 early here tonight. Finished 22nd. And rounding out the field here tonight would be Tyler Daniels, finishing in the 23rd position.
Yeah, well, and I have to say, I was kind of skeptical when I saw this track on the schedule. Maybe we would see kind of a boring, maybe a crash fest. And there were incidents throughout, but the quality of racing we saw tonight, in my opinion, has been some of the best we've seen all year because of the tie wear, because of the sliding, because of the drivers having to try different things out here at this track. I don't think we've seen much better racing on the season.
No, and Tyler, for me, this race essentially felt like a short track race. You know, I really love modified races, and this is what this race sort of felt like to me. Very narrow around the front and back stretch, narrow on the corners as well. Made passing very difficult for the drivers here tonight, but when we did see passing, it was at a frantic pace. We saw pass to the inside, outside, a lot of moving pieces. Big storylines for me here tonight. Again, Nathan Maurer with another solid run creeping into those playoff races. But the thing that I mentioned almost every broadcast here in the NASRA 360 Racing Network is Raul Meza in that 37. Here tonight, going to walk away with some cash money in his pocket. Looking at that 37, going to get a top 5 finish and the Hard Charger Award, finishing up 15 spots from the drop of the green flag. Great run out of Raul Meza in that 37.
Yeah, meanwhile, I will be standing by with your third place finisher, Jason Morales. Jason, we saw some frustrations there from Kerry Tribute after the checkered flag wave. Talk us through that final lap and how you and him raced throughout.
Yeah, we have good races all the time, and I'm not somebody that tended to run people over or try to get into anybody. So, I got in the left rear a little bit there. Certainly wasn't trying to do it. I was trying to get down underneath of him, and he was going for the same spot, and got into him. And then I lifted actually to try to get him to see if he can correct it, but he washed up, but hell, podium.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and I didn't see any intent. It looks like you kind of just had to chase it up the track there, running the last few laps, running as hard as you can. But he definitely seemed very frustrated after the race. What was any conversations like with him over the radio?
We haven't had that yet. I'll reach out to him afterwards. Again, I'm not. That's you ask any of the guys in here. I don't run like that. So.
Well. No, for sure. But we do want to talk, though, about how fast your truck was tonight and getting away from that little bit of, I guess, quote-unquote controversy. But you were one of the fastest 4 trucks all night up there with Maurer, Newber, and Thomas at times. And I thought maybe you had a little bit something there at the end. Didn't necessarily happen for you on the restarts. Is there anything you could have done better in those last few restarts?
Yeah, that second to last caution, everybody went down in pit, and I just missed the pit road. I didn't really mean to stay out. And then once I did, it was just everything I could to just try to keep it up front. And then, Adam and I had a good race, and he was faster. And, I came down on him. He came up a little bit, but, I was just trying to slow him down.
Well, you definitely had a very solid performance tonight as we're looking forward towards the playoff and towards next week at Vegas being the regular season finale. But before we let you go, Jason, is anyone you'd like to thank? The floor is yours.
Well, yeah, number one, my wife who lets me do this and enjoy it and have a blast out here with these guys. My family, friends that tune in to watch, teammates at M1, you guys at Nazareth, Sunstar Dental, Around the Block Tax Services came on board to help this out this year. So, yep.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time talking with us tonight, Jason. We'll let you go. But again, congratulations on the third place position and best of luck next week as we go towards Las Vegas.
Can't wait. One of my favorite places.
Mine as well. Jason, can't wait to call that race next week. Meanwhile, standing by with Will Tiller is your second place finisher, Nathan Maurer.
Nathan Maurer, the 971 machine, here tonight. Nathan, as every week, you're a driver that's always in the mix. You know, you're coming off 3 wins in the season back to back to back, that turkey dinner right in the middle. Here tonight, you were in contention to get that 4th win. Take us through your race here tonight.
Not that good here. I haven't raced here in 8 months. I went back, actually yesterday, I watched my old stream, the whole 180 laps of it, watched every single lap to see what I was doing wrong because I didn't do too good last time I raced here. And that was against not near as good drivers which are in here. And studied that, and 4 qualifying efforts. I think I started 12th or 13th, and I thought for sure that I was going to get taken out before I ever had a chance to get to the front. And just made easy work of the boys the first stage, got up to 5th, and watching my lap times, I said, man, I got the car. I can beat Adam. I can beat Steven. I just need to get up there. And then we got there, executed on and off pit road, and then the unfortunate happened. My own teammate brought out the old caution. I guess his wheel came off, and then you get there, you don't know what to do. You take tires or not. Jason Morales didn't take tires, and everybody else did. And looks like for once I made the right pit call there when it came time. And then I took Jason Morales 3 wide there when I made contact and got up to 2nd. I was just hoping for another caution, but we just didn't get it because I would have gave Adam Newbert hell there at the end. It's time to end his winning streak now.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you there. Did you ever feel like you had anything for that Ford machine in a race that was very, let's say, calm? To start out, big pile up there to start off the race, then a long green flag run, and then you just touched on it there. A few restarts to end this race. Did you ever feel like that if you could get that shot, or if you can get close enough to the 4, that maybe you can get this race victory?
Oh yeah, I just needed another caution there on the outside. Some people were scared to run that like middle to high line and 1 and 2 on restarts, and that's the spot to everybody restart on the inside tonight, but I prefer that middle to high line going into 1 and 2 on the restart, but it all depends how good your jump is on the leader when you're on the outside.
Yeah, speaking with Nathan Maurer, the 971 machine's going to finish 2nd here tonight. And Nathan, we touched on it during the broadcast. Your season's sort of cooled down just a little bit from getting those 3 wins in a row. Does tonight's performance sort of spark anything inside that cockpit? Of course, we have Las Vegas next week for the last regular season race, but how does this sort of spark that confidence going in those playoff races?
Oh, we're back. We're 971's back in action. Last week I got a whole new rig. My monitors are all different now, and last week I did something that I haven't done in forever, is get a speeding ticket and I got an unsafe pit road entrance last week at Kansas on the first pit stop. Then I was so pissed I just flew down pit road, got a speeding ticket, and then my monitors are different distance from me now and everything. Got a new headset and everything. Everything's all sounds different, and just could never recoup from that. And I still had a fast truck last week. I didn't even know I was about 5 laps down. I had to start at the end of the field every restart there, but I was always up there at the end. I was right behind all the top 5 guys. I just we're gonna be back. Adam's gonna get back below me here again, hopefully. But I'm hoping for Justin, man. Justin did a good job last week. As soon as I messed up, I told he's not my teammate on here, but in real life we're good buddies. I told him that you better execute tonight and do what you can do so you can passed me in points, and he did that last week. So congrats to him. But we got that points lead back tonight, so hopefully head on to Vegas and get this regular season championship.
Y'all heard it here first. 971 and Nathan Maurer. He's back here tonight with a second place finish. Nathan, of course, you know the drill with 3 wins this season, but with a podium finish, we still love to give you drivers the opportunity to shout out anybody that you had watching here tonight, and what sponsors made this race possible for you.
Yeah, shout out to my dad for. I'm sure he's watching right now. He's probably pissed. He'll probably be asking me what the hell happened tomorrow. But we're good over that. Shout out to Sim Racer Hub. Shout out to Brady LaBooth for running this thing. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Brady. Shout out to all you guys in the booth. Adam, Tyler, Will. You guys do a great job. Shout out to all my teammates. And Robbie, I know it's hard. I've yelled at Robbie when he looped and brought that caution and screwed my potential great race win coming tonight. But I still love the guy, so I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go play Warzone with Robbie now.
Yes, sir. Great run here tonight. The 971 Nathan Maurer. Have a great night, my man. See you next week.
You too, guys.
Meanwhile, I'm standing by with your race winner Friday night in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series, race winner tonight in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, Adam Newbert. You did it all tonight. Pole, stage 1, stage 2, led the most laps, won the race. Really, there couldn't be anything else you could ask for from a night like this.
Oh man, that was awesome. Just drove all over them like a bunch of pancakes today. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe that. I thought we were out of that thing at the end.
Yeah, there was that late caution period. You were back to 8th, and then on a couple of restarts, you were able to make your way through the field. There was almost an incident there between you and Nathan Maurer where you got to his inside, and maybe he tried to block you or clear himself or didn't realize you were down there, but almost led in a disastrous moment for the both of you. You both ended up keeping the truck straight, finishing 1-2. What was the conversations like with Nathan, if you even had any about that incident, or are you guys just going to move on from it and look forward to the next week?
Oh no, we're all good. Nathan didn't know that I was below him. His spotter, he got confused by his spotter there. He didn't know I was below him, and man, if he had waited a split second later, I probably would have turned on the inside wall. So it's probably good that it worked out the way it did. It could have worked out worse. Yeah, the reason we got back to 8th is, man, I got on pit road so good on that green flag pit stop, and then when I was getting 4 tires of gas, I screwed up. I can't believe I did it. I was so mad at myself. I hit to take more gas, and it held me after the jack drop, and it put more gas in it, and everybody just drove by me, and I was like, man, come on. So, you know, I get kind of mad at Robbie Richards for self-spinning sometimes, but tonight I got to thank him because tonight he helped me out. Usually he hurts me when he self-spins, but tonight he helped me. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. I was going to ask you about that 20.8 second stop. It's good to know that it was just a fuel issue. Because I went back and watched your pit road entry and exit. I didn't see you slide through the box. You got in really well. Unlike your teammate, Stephen Thomas, who almost wrecked getting on pit road during the green flag stop, got in the grass a little bit. And then obviously he had that incident with Ron Hunter. It seemed like a very chaotic last few restarts. What was it like inside that cockpit?
I don't know. I just knew we were the best truck out there tonight, and I wasn't gonna let that keep me from winning this thing. When the caution came out, I was like, all right, we just got to drive up to the field right here. So, yeah, it was a little aggressive when me and Nathan Maurer got together. It was just, I'm going to go and, go for it. And so, I don't know. And then I got to apologize to Jason Morales on here because I apologized to him when I got up underneath of him on turn 2. Taking the lead from him, I don't know, it looked like a bit of netcode, but we doored each other right there. I didn't mean to do that, so I do apologize to him for that on here.
Yeah, definitely some contentious moments between some of the drivers tonight, but it's your second win on the season, the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Obviously, you won at Indianapolis just 2 weeks ago. Coming towards the playoffs, you're going to Vegas next week. Drac, you just won that Friday night, much to my own chagrin. But you're going back to a track you just won at. You have to feel super confident to maybe make this 2 in a row before the playoffs begin.
I mean, hey, why don't you just come race it and let's have a rematch?
I would love to, but I think Brady would be pretty upset at me for leaving behind my booth duties. But definitely, yeah, I'll have to take you up on that offer maybe in the future on some of these other leagues that race at Vegas in the future here, because I love battling with you, and it's always a blast.
Absolutely. Man, I got to, we're going to the playoffs strong here. We got one more race to the playoffs. I think we're going to be in on points. That was my big struggle. Man, I mean, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was outside the playoffs. So, we've had a huge turnaround. Missed a few races this season, but we had a huge turnaround right here at the end. We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to come to the playoffs strong, maybe with some good playoff points and be a good contender and make a run for a championship. I think, we're definitely one of the favorites right now. and you know, Stick with Motorsports is going to come on strong here at the end. Brian Chu should be making the playoffs as well. We'll have 2 drivers in the playoffs, so should be a good time.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how your Sick with the Motorsports team is setting yourself fair in these postseason races as we come up to it in just 2 weeks' time, first race of the playoffs. But before we let you go celebrate that win tonight, Adam, anyone you'd like to thank?
First off, Stick with the Motorsports, Jeff Sickles. Second off, Darren's Nail Gun Repair tonight. Huge thank you to them tonight. They sponsored this race tonight, and they're the title sponsor. They're one of our team sponsors. They're Justin Lumpkin's main sponsor, so huge, huge shout out and thank you to Darren's Nail Gun Repair. Also got to thank A's Lawn and Landscaping, Roofco Group, the Spatulas, Millie's Restaurant and Catering, Ladanco, all of our sponsors over here at Swim. Got to thank them all. So got to thank y'all up in the booth and Brady for putting on this series. I'm not sure where Brady's at tonight, but I'm going to have to ask him where. We're going to get him back next week.
For certain, and we look forward to seeing how next week plays out at Las Vegas. But again, go enjoy that win, Adam, and hopefully you'll be back in Victory Lane talking with us next week.
Yeah, I got to thank my girlfriend for watching too, and thank y'all.
Of course, and again, have a great night celebrating that win as you make your push towards these playoffs. Again, your winner, Adam Newbert. Well, Will, as we've wrapped up our penultimate race here in the regular season of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, we like to take this point to, again, look back at the remaining schedule here on the season, looking at our playoff schedule, obviously next week being Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But after that, we have a bunch of different races as the rounds of the playoffs begin, Will.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a gap right there. I'd say it's the final 8 that I'm really looking at if we could get that playoff schedule up on the screen here, the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. It's a little bit of a window there in those playoff races that we go road course racing and Charlotte once we get in there. Right now, looking at these point standings here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, you just touched on a few drivers here tonight didn't make their cases any better. But then we look at some other drivers, Nathan Maurer up there, Steve Barnett, Chris Blanchard. Some of these drivers may be locked in. Raul Meza may have done it with a top 5 here tonight.
For certain, and you bring up our first road course race of the year will be in the playoffs, so that will definitely shake up the field, Will. But at this point in time, so you reach the end of our broadcast tonight, we again like to say thank you for Darren's Nail Gun Repair for sponsoring tonight's 150-mile race at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. Congratulations again to Adam Newbert for winning his second race of the year tonight. And obviously, again, a big shout out to our producer, Adam Flieger. Thank you, Will, for joining me in the booth. As always, I always enjoy these experiences as we look forward to next week for our final race of the regular season here in the SimRacerHub.com series, Las Vegas, next week. Be here for 8:45. We should go live, 9 o'clock race start. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in tonight. We'd like to wish you all a very, very good evening.